sorry. Son of a bitch. God, I fucking hate that. So, what ended up happening, I'm clicking over on OBS to switch a scene, and I fucking hit end stream. God damn it, am I pissed. Oh, what a fucking retard. Climbing up at like 800 people already on YouTube and Rumble. We were off to a great start. Mother dick. All right, Rumble's back. YouTube's back. Someone says, did you update OBS? No. I fucking hit, I hit stop streaming. And then you guys didn't, if you're on YouTube, you didn't hear. You didn't hear me try to blame OBS for it. Like, I was like, they should show you the... I kept saying they should show you, they should ask, like, are you sure you want to stop streaming? Like, I tried to blame them for my fat finger clicking stop streaming. God damn it. Are we back? All right, Rumble says we're back. Does YouTube say we're back? God damn it. Bearded Trucker says, you call yourself a professional? All right, we're back. Mitchell says you did it twice. Well, no, the second time I didn't have like the thumbnails and all that. I just panicked and hit start streaming again. I'm like, no, let's set it up right. Let's take a minute and a half. Oh, you fucking tard. Thank you. Somebody sent $5 just before we got off. 2 people sent in $5 just before we were done. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. 315 is the number for today. That's fucking embarrassing. Sharparelli on Rumble writes, still not working. I'm not falling for that shit. That's annoying. That's obnoxious. Am I still on Rumble? Sharparelli on Rumble writes, okay, yeah, we're still there. How fucking annoying. God. And then our fucking viewer number has to take a shit and has to rebound because I'm a fucking dildo. God damn it. Sorry. Accidentally hit stop streaming. Oh, fucking douche. Now all the Facebook things have to reset. The Twitter streams have to reset. Everything's got to reset because somebody's a douche. All right. We're all set now. Thanks, everyone. Someone says, so it is his fault. Yeah, it's my fault. I fucked it up with my stupid fat fingers. Kyle Brofslavsky with $2 says, Heil Aaron. Thank you, buddy. Beef broth based with $5 says fake dono. Thank you very much for the fake dono. That's going to put us 310 away from today. As you know, Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chats, memberships, all that stuff counts towards that $310 goal. And we throw 30 minutes of overtime onto the end of the show once that gets hit. Pop that PayPal cherry. Let's see who gets in there first today. Again, it's all appreciated. All right, so when we left the show, before my fat finger clicked stop streaming, you know what's funny is that as soon as the stream goes down, immediately people start with fan fiction. Immediately people have their theories. And they're like, he tripped over a wire, or somebody shut him down, or he didn't pay his internet bill. And then you come, by the time I'm back on and I can tell everybody what happened, it feels so anticlimactic. Like you're sitting there going, you know what happened? And they're like, what? I accidentally hit stop streaming. And like, come on. That's it? I had such a better story. I should have run with drug raid. Somebody in the chat said, oh, he's being raided. I'm not being raided. I promise. All right, let's get everybody back on YouTube. We were fucking cooking there. God damn it. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit share. Tell everybody we're back. Get everybody back on the stream. Now I'm pissed. I take last night off, and then I fuck up the stream today, just when we're fucking killing it, just when it's, every win for the toe. Son of a bitch. And I know I'm being far more angry with myself than I need to be. Thank you, Kyle Broflovsky, with another $2. Says, Heil Aaron's side piece, May. No, May. No more girls named after months, you know? You live, you learn. What do you do? Thank you guys very much for the super chats. I appreciate it. Let's get to this Sean Strickland thing. And let's try not turning off the stream when we do it this time. So Sean Strickland and his brother are at a rock climbing wall, which totally isn't gay for a couple 40-year-olds. It's totally still super awesome to go to rock climbing walls. I'm not going to judge the guy. He's the former middleweight champion of the world. Who am I? So Sean Strickland and his brother, all we have is this video, and this is so unfair when people do this. They just take out their phones, they start filming shit, and then they go, oh, look at this. Sean Strickland and his brother got into a fight with some rock climbing wall guy. And then immediately the inference is supposed to lead you to believe that, oh, man, Sean Strickland and his brother, they're fucking assholes, right? Aren't these guys dicks? And it's like, well, let's hear him out. So this tweet comes out, and then Sean Strickland responds to it. We'll play the 2-minute video first, and then Sean Strickland has his description of what happened. Now, Sean can be a passionate dude. We've seen Sean rag on reporters. We've seen Sean Strickland not hold back from giving his opinion on stuff. He can be a hot-tempered individual. So let's see.
1 minute. Fuck off. Call the cops. We're getting the shit out of here. Well, fuck you.
So I'm guessing this is Strickland's brother. There's Sean Strickland right there. And here's the... Is this the wiener guy rock climbing wall dude that they're about to fight, or is it this guy? Which one?
I am the supervisor here. I shut the fuck up. It's not working out. Shut up. Shut up. Don't speak to my wife. I'm going to hit you.
So wait, this little twink with the shirt off is fucking with the Stricklands? And now whichever woman this is, whether it's Strickland's brother or him, she's saying, like, we're leaving. Why don't you just let us leave? So on and so forth. Were they breaking the rules of the rock climbing wall? Did they ding the bell too loud? What the fuck? The balls on this little creep, too, to, like, stand there with two behemoths that are ready to rip his fucking spinal column out.
Fucking speak to my wife. Speak to her wife. Speak to her one time. Bitch slap me. I promise. Shut.
Ooh, speak to my wife one time and I'll fucking bitch slap you. All right. Okay, this is going somewhere. I'm interested. I like Red over here. Red's just like, I'm good. I'm all right, thanks. I'll just wait for the next person in line and I'll teach him how to rock climb and I'll stay the fuck out of this one. You're on your own, shirtless, with your gay hockey hair. Fuck, I hate that haircut. Just everybody who has it, round them up. Well, you know, with the pit bulls.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bro, I'm gonna just walk away. You're a kid. You don't understand.
Oh, so this guy. Oh, you know what? I kind of want the Stricklands to hit him now. So he's being a cunt. He's kind of being. Oh, I got a little bit of authority. I'm the rock climbing wall kid, and he's talking a bunch of shit. And these two know how much trouble they're in. If they know how bad it looks if they beat the fuck out of this idiot. But he keeps talking. There's nothing worse than the guy who knows you're not going to do something, and he keeps fucking talking. You can see Sean Strickland. He's just getting frustrated. He goes, he's like, I know in the jungle, I know out in the wild, I should be beating you half to death and eating your entrails right now. But we're in civilization, and you know I'm not allowed to do that, so you're kind of taking advantage. I can't hear everything that's being said, but I'm pretty sure I hate this guy.
What the fuck are you fucking doing? You don't understand what you guys are going to get yourself into. This will be a life-changing event for you. I promise you.
Sean Strickland's brother. This is going to be a life-changing event for you, I promise you. Go back. I want to see if I can hear what he's saying.
Bitch slap me. I promise. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bro, I'm gonna take. Just walk away. You're a kid. You don't understand. What the fuck are you gonna fucking do? You don't understand what you guys are gonna get yourself into. This will be a life-changing event for you. I promise you. You'll be hurt. Yes, you'll be hurt. I will make.
Oh, so he's telling them both, like, he's warning them both, like, shut it, you're both gonna get hurt. You're gonna get fucked up. So they're doing something where they're antagonizing these two big meatheads. See, this is where we should be able to suspend the law a little bit. This is where I'm all for just natural order. I'm all for evolution taking charge and the laws get wiped away. When you're being a little cunt with hockey hair and a little ginger gay F word, and you're purposely antagonizing a UFC fighter because you know he can't hit you because he'll be in big trouble, there should be a light that goes off that lets Sean Strickland know assault laws don't apply for the next 56 seconds. And he can just pound the living fuck out of this guy because they deserve it, because they're taking advantage. They know they're protected. They know they have a shield. They know that these guys won't hit them. So they're antagonizing them and using their tiny little authority as the rock climbing wall guy at the Gander Mountain to fuck with Sean Strickland and his brother. In front of the dude's wife, he should be allowed to beat the shit out of this kid. Especially being shirtless inside. You fucking Mo. What a tool. I really want them to hit this guy now. The Andrew Santino looking motherfucker, he's fine. They can leave him alone. He's whatever. He's got tiny ankles. He's not breaking the law. This asshole deserves to be jacked in the face.
Yeah, you'll be part of it. Shut up and just piss off. What are you leaving? Piss off or you're going to get hurt. You fucking man. Standing your ground, you have no ground. They'll fucking hurt you and hurt you at the same time. Shut the fuck up.
This guy's like, oh God, did this douche just say I'm standing my ground? Fuck you, dude, take him down. Just take him down. Give him a trip. Just trip him. That's all. Is a double leg takedown assault? That's practicing wrestling moves. It's for my job. I really want. How does this make Sean Strickland look bad? Like somebody put this tweet up. They're like tattling on Sean Strickland. How does this make him look bad? This little fuck is clearly antagonizing him. Sean Strickland is holding back, and he didn't beat the fuck out of this guy. How is Sean Strickland not the good guy in this whole thing?
You're going to get yourself hurt real bad by someone like me. I will get you that. You walk outside.
Can you not just control your testosterone for like 30 seconds and just...
Oh, I'll fucking hit you too, bitch. Don't you hide behind the camera and go, can't you control your testosterone? No, because men have testosterone. I don't know what your sophomore college class taught you, but this man, in another time, if there was no UFC, would be in a gladiator pit beating people to death. And you're going to sit there and antagonize him? You're going to sit there like, can't you control your testosterone for 1 second? Tell your gay shirtless buddy to fuck off. How about that?
Sleep peacefully?
Oh my God, we get it, dude. We get it. You're punching massive, dog.
It's not massive. How much I want to hurt both of you. It's not even I want to hurt you. I want to hurt you.
Oh, for what?
Wait, what? Huh?
Kyle, it's all good, man. Have a good day.
Yeah, sure.
I'm good. Kyle, we're not good. We're not good.
Have a good dog.
No, I got to see my brother. But we're good. Kyle, my name's Sean. Good, Matt. We're good. We're good.
So he even shook his hand at the end. Like Sean Strickland's a way nicer guy than he needed to be. Fuck all of the people who were involved in that. So Sean Strickland responded to it. He went on Twitter and he replied to the video. He says, "This is the God's honest truth. I went to this place because you can use your own rope, clip in wherever, and climb whatever route you want." Makes sense, doesn't? I really don't feel he needs to explain himself, but okay. So I'm there for about 45 minutes, and I meet this pretty dope female climber. So we start climbing together and talking. Literally just being friendly, not hitting on her, anything. You can hit on her if you want. Is he married? Is that why he's got to make the explanation? Or is he just like, hey, I'm a gentleman? So apparently this was her boyfriend. Oh. So shirtless twink has a girlfriend, but he sees UFC guy talking to her and he gets a little jealous. Okay. All right. So this apparently was her boyfriend. And after being there for an hour, this salty dork comes up to me and says, do you have a certification? You can't climb this without getting one from the gym. So he's been climbing for an hour, but he's talking to this guy's chick. So he decides to roll up on him and, oh, you have certification, bro? Why don't you just say, hey, can you stop talking to my chick? I'm kind of insecure about it, and it's making me uncomfortable. Can't do it, can you? Fucking punk. I hate it. He says, Sean Strickland says, I had zero idea you needed one. No one told me. I was mad because you could have asked me when I signed the waiver or when I paid or when I was climbing, but instead you chose to ask me 45 minutes in after I met your girl. Yeah, see, even Strickland knew what this was about. Even Sean Strickland knew what this was about. He says, just a cunt move to do. I don't like you being friends with my girl. Show me your certification. Okay, now leave. Laughing my ass off. Well played, sir. But yes, I very much wanted to hit him, but I didn't want to go to jail more. Good for him. I am team Sean Strickland on that one. That guy did just, he did just kind of come off as a cunt. So, and it turns out he was 100% being cunty. So it's just, sometimes you just get a vibe, go with that vibe. Sometimes you get a feeling about somebody, go with that feeling. Because you're probably right. John Gunner with 199 says, R.I.P. Sika. Yes, one of the wild Samoans died. Sika passed away. I think they said was he 70 years old? Sika? And then is Afa still alive or no? Is Afa alive? Sika died at 79. Afa is having... Oh, Afa has Alzheimer's disease and has been experiencing dementia. Fuck, man. That sucks. So Sika was 79 years old. Okay, WWE Hall of Famer Sika Anoy of the Wild Samoans dies at 79. Fuck. You're right, John Gunner. Rest in peace, Sika. Really, though, making it to 79 as a pro wrestler, that's like making it to 100 as a regular person. Bigot on socialist media says he warned him twice already not to talk to his wife. Yeah. It was Strickland's brother who was about to fuck him up. Sean Strickland showed a little bit more control. Chevrolet JB says, I just got up. What happened with last night? Yeah, if you're just joining us, I shut off one of the streams today accidentally. I fucked that up. Last night, the weather was beautiful. It was great outside. We took the night off. We hung out in the backyard. We sat in the deck and had a couple of beers and had some pizza. It was really nice. It was a fun night. Slam Piece was there. Matt, Johnny, my neighbor came over. It was good. Kind of want to take tonight off, but we'll see. Right now, let's go ahead and knock out today's goal. We're at 310. Let's get under 300 by the top of the hour. We got about 6 minutes to do that. If you want to throw in a couple of bucks, very generous of you. This is a show that runs on listener donations, so I appreciate those. Solo show today. We've got 11 wins in a row. Let's make it 12. Let's make it 162 out of 163. So everybody listening right now, throw in $5 or $6. We'll get this thing taken care of in no time. And also, I am so mad at myself for stopping that stream. We were fucking rocking and rolling numbers wise. You know what really sucks about radio streaming in general? If you have a flub like that, if you have a fuck up where you accidentally hit stop streaming, you instantly lose people. Like even if you get it back on 10 seconds later, there's a percentage of that audience that's not coming back. They're like, oh, fuck, something happened. Steel Toe's not on today. They might come back an hour or two later, but they're going to leave right in that moment. And we were really fucking building up steam. That annoys the shit out of me. So, yeah, get us out of that funk. Go to Streamlabs, go to PayPal, go to Venmo. I just want to keep up on the pace today so I'm not worried or anything like that. So in the next 4 minutes, let's put this thing under $300 and keep us on pace. Thank you guys very much. Solo shows, I always worry, because the money that comes in is a reflection of my own solo performance. So I want to make sure we're doing okay. All right. Should we do the compound thing? I know what the news is, but I'm not going to make any official announcement on the news. I was making yesterday, anything I said yesterday on the show, that was me making predictions. That wasn't me thinking that, I know anything or I have any insider information. I did get some information yesterday. I think it's Anthony's story to tell. He's probably going to tell that story on his show today. I'm excited for it. But I got to give a little bit of credit to Chad Zumach, of all people. My arch nemesis, Chad, who, by the way, when it comes to steel toe villains, I think it's gross that people even put like Patrick Melton in that conversation. He's not in that conversation. Patrick Melton is a steel toe fan who hosts a steel toe group therapy session. What I like about Chad is Chad just goes, fucking hate steel toe, shits on me, everything else, doesn't like me, well-deserved, whatever, and then he goes and does his own show. Whereas Melton just goes, I have to watch Aaron. Guys, he's bad, right? He sucks. We hate him. That's a group therapy session. Chad does a show. And Chad's actually been nailing it lately. Chad made some predictions. Chad made some calls about some stuff, and they are coming true. And it's really been interesting to watch Chad, make his calls. Well, he has another call about Compound Media. And, I'm always concerned about what's going on over at Compound Media because I have friends that work there. And I'm a subscriber. And, in general, I just find this stuff interesting. So let's watch this clip from Misery Loves Company yesterday. Thank you to Misery Loves Clips for clipping this one. Misery Loves Clips, another good one. My Lost Interest, of course, is great. Let's take a look at what they had over on MLC yesterday. And who's this girl in the corner there? Is that the Pat Dixon's ex? Felicia or whatever her name is?
You guys better be careful. Don't cross the Duke. I'm hearing stuff.
Chad, what do you got on Compound Media?
Is Chad the Duke now? Is that the new Chad nickname? He's the Duke? It's not bad. I want to make fun of that, but the Duke's a fun nickname. I mean, there's like Dookie and shit like that. There's nothing wrong with the nickname Duke. If you're shitting on the nickname Duke, I think it's just because you overhate Chad.
My sources are telling me that, by the way, shout out to Vinny Cash. He mailed me a new mixer. It sounds fantastic.
Look at Chad getting gifts. How the fuck? You understand I have more fans than all of these people except Brennan? And these people are getting mixers and they're getting this. I can't even I struggled till the last minute of overtime to get $300 and look, $300 is a lot for a show. Don't get me wrong. But I drag my ass to the goal line for the goal every day. And here Chad with, what are we doing? 1,000 at our peak? Probably not today because I hit the fucking button. But like we're doing 1,000 at our peak. Chad's doing like 250 at his peak. And he's getting fucking mixers sent in. God, I must be remarkably unlikable. Damn, I'll work on it. We were talking about that in therapy yesterday. She's like, what do you do on your show when you talk about X, Y, and Z? And I was like, I have fun. You make fun of people. I make fun of things. And she's like, so are you probably more like angry or an asshole or whatever? I'm like, yeah, probably. And she's like, why don't you ever show this like more sensitive, softer side of you? I go, I do sometimes. I'm like, but it's the internet and they'll call you a fag. And And she's like, I think you would relate to a lot of people. She goes, you have this very sweet, sensitive side to you. She goes, that I think a lot of people would relate to. And I'm like, yeah, I understand. There are people who maybe aren't fans of the show right now who might like the show if I let that side out every once in a while. But I've cultivated an audience over the last 10 years that if they see that, they'll call me the gay F word, and that'll hurt my feelings. We were talking about my divorce and all that stuff. And I was talking to my therapist about how I was feeling guilty because, and we'll get back to the Brennan clip here in a second, but I did want to talk about this on the evening show last night, but we ended up not having one. I was talking to my therapist about how I'm feeling guilty about the fact that things aren't going well for them. And that I feel like it's vindication because here I am, there's Charlie facing the fire. I'm owning up to what I did. And all these people are still fucking lying about what they did, but they're going through a hell of a time. And their life is shit and it's fucking miserable. And the kids are gone. The kids testing positive for cocaine fucking infuriates me. But like the fact that they're struggling and having a tough time, I'm happy about that. I'm glad. Fuck them. Whatever. And then I was talking to my therapist about how, and I talked to Slampiece about this over the weekend. Slampiece was like, we always check in on each other. She's like, are you okay? Like, are we good to keep seeing each other and doing this? Like, are you good? She's like, you just got divorced. You're probably still heartbroken. Are we good? And me 4 or 5 years ago, like with April, would have just powered through and went, no, I'm fine, I'm okay. And then any hurt or pain, I'm like embarrassed by that, or I don't want someone I think I have something good with to see that and then run away. So I bury the pain and the heartbreak deep down inside, shove it away, go do something fun. And I'm not doing that this time. When Slampies asked me, you seem like you're still heartbroken. I was honest with her. I'm like, yeah, a little bit. Because like what I thought was the rest of my life, I had this future and I don't have it anymore. And that makes you sad, Not for the person, but like you had this future and it's not there anymore. And yeah, that makes you sad. But then you have the righteous anger where these people fucked up and they disrespected you and they did all this shit and they didn't listen. And now they're fucking going through it, man. And it gets worse and worse for them every day. And you're fucking happy about it because you felt you got lied to, you got manipulated, you got used, but you're getting the last laugh and fuck these people. But also at the same time, that's not what's making me happy. What's making me happy is that I'm moving forward with my life and I'm doing good things. You got to make sure that stuff that's, that anger, that fire that's keeping you warm doesn't burn you up. And, before my therapy session yesterday, I told my therapist, I'm like, yeah, I just, I thought about some stuff that made me sad. And I was just like, I was talking to my therapist about how do I square those two things? Like I have this anger and hatred. Like I hate this person. Like literally I hate her. And then, because of just the shitty stuff she's done and won't admit it and plays a fucking victim and it infuriates you, but you're like, good, they're getting theirs, they're getting their comeuppance, things are shitty, but that doesn't make my life any better. But then on the other hand, I go, we did all these fun, cool things together. And I know the way her life is going right now, she's not going to do those things, but I know she likes doing them. But she's not going to go do them with the habits she has now and the things she's doing now and the trouble she's gotten herself into. She's not going to do those fun things. And that made me really sad. And it fucking made me feel shitty. And I talked about it during therapy. And the therapist just goes, why can't you just feel both of those things? Why can't you feel the angry part and also feel the heartbroken part? It's okay to have both of them. She's like, you had a future. You thought it was going to be a certain way. It's not going to. She's like, and the new future is going to be good. It's going to be fine. But that doesn't mean you can't lament the loss of this one. And then we got talking about the show. And she's like, she kind of knew the answer. But she's like, what do you do on the show? And I go, I definitely let loose on the angry part. Like, I let that anger go on the show, man. Like, that fire just, whew, it's coming out. And she's like, do people like it? I go, people are entertained by it. They like it. But I said, some people think that I'm kind of a dick. And she's like, that's because you don't show that other side. You don't talk about the fact that you're heartbroken and you're dealing with it on the fly. And there's certain things that you feel sad about. And you have this person you're seeing, and that person is compassionate. And they're going, you okay? You doing good? And you're like, hey, sometimes I'm not doing okay. Sometimes I have a rough time. It doesn't mean I miss the person. It just means, I'm having a tough one. And the therapist is like, well, why don't you talk about that on your show? You get a whole, she said, you get a whole new audience of people. You get a whole new group of people if you have that vulnerable side come through. And I did want to address it on the show. I don't know if you're going to get Stallion or Alyssa clipping this part. I don't know if this part is interesting to them. But it was something I wanted to bring up because it is, it's a show based on honesty. It's based on my life. But like I told my therapist, I'm like, you don't understand the audience that loves the anger and the rage and the righteous, fuck you, that part of it and the making fun of them. They're going to call, like, honestly, I was so sheepish. I was like, but they're going to call me gay. That was my objection to not, sharing with the audience that, yeah, while I'm basking in the fact that these bad people are suffering, at the same time, like, you're also a little heartbroken and you're dealing with your own shit, and that's probably part of the anger too. And you can let your audience know that. Now, I don't have the chat up right now. I have the Kevin Brennan video up, but now to prove my point, if I went to the chat right now, it would probably be a bunch of people calling me gay for even saying that. So now let me hold on. We'll get to the Kevin Brennan thing in a second. $5 from Dr. Silverwolf says, we don't talk about feelings here. Crack a beer, eat a steak, and bottle it up. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. See? I'm gay now. I told the therapist, I go, I will try to. She's like, oh, man, your phones will ring off the hook. She's like, people will be commenting on it. They'll really appreciate that you're that honest and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're just going to call me gay. And so now today is the test. Yes. On top of all this, when the news comes out, and I only enjoy the news that just hurts them, though. I don't enjoy the news that hurts other people. That really makes me upset. That really makes me sad. That part. But like, yeah, I also walk around the house sometimes going, fuck. God, that really sucks. Just kind of lamenting how things went. Not even the person. It's just you're walking around going, fuck, I really got had. That's what the heartbreak is. The heartbreak is, fuck, I really got had. I really thought, I had something there and I didn't. It's fake. It wasn't real. It was a fugazi, as the kids say. That's the part that kind of gets you. Chevrolet JB says, I don't think it was a year ago when you were saying therapy is useless. My experience with it before this was useless. I found a good therapist. Mr. Beat says, yeah, a new audience full of gays. See? Lab Glass writes, here comes the rainbows. Landers says, yeah, next he will be tossing glitter up in the air, talking about his story. Now they're calling me Rip Taylor. Now I'm Rip Taylor. Do you see what this has done to me now? And this is just Rumble. I bet you YouTube's going, queer, homo, gay, whatever. Send in your super chats if you want me to see them. The YouTube end goes too fast. Atomic Ray, pull that gay therapist shit out. Where the fuck is your therapist donations? Fire your therapist. Do you know how good of a day I had yesterday because of therapy? It was fucking great. Talked to Slam Piece about it. Talking to you folks about it. But I knew the result would be, you're a homosexual. Atomic Ray says, you pull that gay therapist. Oh, just did that one. Cheeseburger Pie with a good point says, hey, Aaron, we're going to call you gay no matter what. Mr. Beat says, your therapist sounds like your new cult leader. Well, in fairness, they're not trying to fuck me. Lab Glass says, to be fair, you've always been gay. Pyromancer says, you realize there is no therapist, right? Oh, no. So it's like a Tyler Durden thing? Shit. Your therapist sounds gay. Atomic Ray, no more money for you to give to your new therapist producer. Goddamn college degrees are worthless. Telling a streamer how to stream? Fuck. Prime Time says, ketamine therapy is the truth. Wiped away my depression and negative thoughts in a session. I don't really have depression. So I don't need to go in the K-hole, I don't think. Sapphire says, calling your slam piece makes me hate you. You understand that that's like a silly nickname we've come up with because I don't want to say her name on the air. You understand that we're just being silly. I don't want, Sapphire, now I'm in sensitivity mode, so I'm being sensitive to Sapphire's needs here. You understand that that's not meant, it's a term of endearment. We're being sarcastic when we say slam piece because I don't want the identity of anyone I'm seeing to ever be on the air again. And now Sapphire says, I'm sorry, Aaron. No. It's not your fault. It's my fault. I didn't explain to you that it's okay, that we're just being... See, the therapist was right. I start fucking talking about my feelings. I get a new fan who goes, I don't like that you said that. And I go, I'm so sorry. I've upset you and I apologize. That was not my intent. And they're like, I'm sorry. No, it just sounds mean to me. No, it's okay. See? Getting gay works sometimes. Sapphire says, I want your new love to feel special. Yeah, that's for off the air, though. Like, that's for me in my private life, if you understand. I brought the other one too close to the fire, and it burnt us up, so to speak. Lander says, yeah, Aaron is always called Johnny Slam Piece. That's not what I'm not talking about Johnny. John Gunner with 199 says, Aaron's switching to the gold dust gimmick. I'm not gay. I'm just telling you about my heart. That's gay, isn't it? That was a gay that I just did. I just did a gay, didn't I? I did a gay. Fuck. $5 from Tony says, imagine spending years in school to become a therapist just to listen to a 40-year-old closeted gay cry about internet drama. I'm not crying about internet drama. I'm crying about my divorce, you fuck. See, I told the therapist if I came out and talked to this vulnerable side that I talked to Slam Piece about, I talked to my therapist about, I talked to my family and friends about, my fans are going to call me a homo. And guess what's happening? They're all calling me a homo. But at least they're giving me money while they're calling me a homo. That's a plus. By the way, nothing in PayPal yet, if you want to throw in. We're at an even 300 for today. So if you want to chip in, we appreciate it. It's not gay, just Midwestern, says Prime Time. Sapphire says, you can call her cutie patootie. They're already calling me gay, though. You don't understand. I'm in a conundrum. Lander says, Aaron, you could call her Meat Wallet instead of Slam Piece. Much more sophisticated. I mean, can you really change someone's moniker midstream? I don't know if that works. Anyway, thank you, Tony. Thank you to everybody. All the links are in the chat if you want to donate to the show. We're $300 away. We're at the top of the hour. Thank you, guys. Get it to 200 by the top of the 8 o'clock hour. I'll be very grateful. Thank you, guys, for keeping this show on the air. Can I go back into the chat, or am I still being called homosexual? Donate. Prime Time says, donate so we can have a nice lavender bath tonight. Yeah, you guys could throw in on PayPal, and in the comment section could just be how fucking gay and sensitive I am. How about that? Go ahead. Go for it. But no, I think it's only fair. I think it's only fair that I acknowledge, because I have been going hard. I have been hammering the shit out of these people. But part of it's the heartbreak. Part of it's the fact that you feel hurt, you feel used, you feel worked over, you feel had. And you feel like something dishonest was done to you. And you also know that you told people, when it comes to the drugs part, you warned people about certain shit and they treated you like shit over it. And so the heartbreak part comes from before all the cover Ricada shit. Because that was a nightmare. Before that, though, you had this future. And it looked good. And it was nice and it was lovely and everything. It had its problems like everything else does, but you had this future and it looked good. Then this other thing happened and it was just a fucking nightmare. So you're heartbroken about the future that you don't have anymore. That makes you very sad. But these people that you warned and you were smarter than and you told them what was what and you had to fucking leave for them to see it and they still didn't see it and then they got fucking, boom, smoked by the fucking train of justice. The train of karma, if you will. I enjoy that part. That part is a fire inside of me that keeps me warm. You know, so there's two sides to it. That's all. Joshua says hammering the shit out of those guys. Oh, see, now it's gay. Even when I go, now I've gone to the sensitivity part, I go to the anger part, and now I'm gay again. Now I've poisoned the waters and made it all gay. Shit. $2 from Dr. Silverwolf says, you're not funny, haha, more like funny queer. Thank you. 383 Novocaine with $2 says, how about instead of slam piece, we call her gum glove? No, that was one of my pranks I pulled during baseball. Plankton with 199 says, your butt not nearly as sensitive as it once was. See, now I'm sensitive and I'm gay because my butthole has apparently, according to Plankton, been penetrated. Thank you, guys. See, I told my therapist, I go, I can go to my audience and they'll be kind and understanding and nice, and they won't use this against me at all. They'll be kind. They'll be sweet. They'll be responsive. Tony with $2 says, I thought gays liked getting worked over. See, it's just... She did say it would create conversation. It would create material. I just don't think she knew what kind of conversation and material it would create, because right now we're basically just doing a chat segment between Rumble and the Super Chats. $2.95 away from today's goal. Throw into PayPal, make some fun comments there too, and get this thing down to 200 by the end of this hour. Thank you guys very much for your time, money, and your thumbs up. Hit like, hit subscribe, all of that happy shit. Over 800 of you watching. Oh, God, we'd be at 1,000 right now if I hadn't accidentally hit stop streaming. Fuck, am I mad at myself. All right, let's get into this compound stuff. Kevin Brennan, Chad Zumach, and some other lady. They're up there talking about all... they're asking Chad Zumach what he knows about compound because... Believe it or not, Zumach's been fucking killing it on his compound predictions lately. It's fucking weird to see Chad Zumach have something to say, and it's not an out-and-out lie. It's impressive. So Chad's got some things to say about compound. You can tell he's feeling himself because he's got his beanie and his sunglasses on. Like I said, I had my guesses. I had my predictions about compound media yesterday. I talked to some friends over there. I did get some news. It's not my news to tell. It's Anthony's. It's Compound's. It's all of them. This is pure speculation from Misery Loves Company, but it's interesting gossip.
Sources are telling me that the studio's packed up. Like, not what you see on camera, but everything else is like packed up. The office. It's ready to ship out.
Yeah, because I didn't see the office. I saw somebody, they had a camera on the couch, and I was like, is that the couch in the green room lobby? But it wasn't. It was a couch in the studio.
Yeah, so there's it's still there for operation, but yeah, they're shutting it down, and Gavin's running the ship. That's what's happening. And I guess when he went in there like a tyrant, like Alec Baldwin and Glenn Ross. He's like, put that coffee down. And he fired everyone.
Am I the only one? People give people shit for this. They give me shit for this. Am I the only one who fucking loves movie references? I love when people relate things to movies. I don't know why that scene is such a bad thing. We all love movies. It's something we all enjoy. If it's a popular movie, we all get the reference. And it's a way for us to compare something in life to something in a movie. I love... When he goes, oh, he's like Alec Baldwin and Glenn Ross. That paints a picture to me. I get it. I'm like, oh, that's how Gavin came in. Okay, coffee is for closers. Okay, cool. Good. Got it. Nick always hated it when I did movies. He's like, not everything has to be a movie reference. I'm like, fucking calm down. You're doing too much of that shit. Everything's bothering you. Stop. But I love a good movie reference. I love it when people relate things to song lyrics or movies. The person who's telling you the story is now putting you in the picture that he's painting. He's like, hey, you may not know what I'm talking about. Do you know this thing? And you're like, oh, yeah, I know that. I can picture that. Yeah, he was like that. You're like, oh, okay, perfect.
Except from my sources, Gino and Chrissy are still there.
Wait, he went in. Well, there's never any.
I will say that I'm not going to say what Compound's doing. I'm not going to say what's going on over there. But I will say this. I am really glad that my buddy Gino and that Chrissy Mayer were part of it. They deserve to be. I think they're a draw. I think they do entertain people. I think they are an asset to a streaming company. So I'm glad that Chrissy and Gino are going to be continuing on with whatever Compound is doing.
There, so how could he go in and start firing people if they're not there?
They had a meeting when Cumia was in New York. That's why Cumia usually goes to New York for medical operations, his blood work and stuff. But he was there for a meeting to tell everyone that we're merging.
Oh, and so Gavin laid down the law in person. Everybody, he fired people in person.
Yeah, he says, yeah, we're gonna cut you guys loose. We're going into a new direction. I guess he's very cold about it too. And it makes sense because Gavin ran.
Yeah, and I think Chad's about to say the same thing I am. Gavin ran Vice. Like, Gavin ran Rooster, the advertising company. Gavin's run a handful of companies at least in the past. So Gavin knows how to be a boss. If any of the Compound people do end up working with Gavin, and again, this is Anthony's story to tell. This is, let's say hypothetically, they end up working together or Gavin comes aboard or whatever it is. Because, Gavin used to work at Compound. That's where the fucking Proud Boys started, at Compound Media. And Gavin knows how to be a boss. One thing Anthony has said historically, he says, I don't want to be the boss. I don't like being the boss. I don't like firing people. I don't like running the day-to-day. He's always had Keith the Cop or E-Rock or somebody else to do that. Whereas Gavin is good on air, but he's also really good at running shit. So I think Anthony could benefit from someone like Gavin taking a managerial role in Compound of some sort, if that's what they end up doing. Because then Anthony is just freed up. It's not his anymore. He just gets to work for it. He gets to do his show, which is what he really enjoys doing. So Anthony can come in. He can just do his show, put all of his focus into that, and somebody else can run the fucking thing. That should be the dream for Anthony Cumia.
Ran Vice, something at Vice TV, right?
Yeah, but he ran the Proud Boys. I could imagine that would be like a fucking hornet's nest running that organization. So running Compound Media is going to be a cakewalk for Gavin.
Yeah, because the Proud Boys say what you want.
There's only 5 people that work there.
Say what you want about the Proud Boys. They were successful to the point where the president
they got the job done.
You gotta give Gavin that. Like, you can say the Proud Boys are douchey and the cereal thing is whatever, and they're gayer than Aaron talking about his feelings in therapy. Okay, true. But I mean, that thing did take off. I bet you if you even asked Gavin, he would be like, yeah, that got away from me. I did not see that happening. I didn't see like fucking tiki torches. And although he did, I think he told the Proud Boys not to be a part of that Charleston thing. He said, this looks like a trap. This doesn't look good. And he did call that. But like, even Gavin would look at some of the shit the Proud Boys did, and he was like, whoo, I was trying to create a fraternal order like the Knights of Columbus, or, just like hanging out at a Legion or something like that. I did not see it going this far.
Huh.
I mean, they were in one of the great debates of all time.
Yeah. You can't say that about a lot of gangs.
You can't say that about me or Gino.
You can't say that about
Small Duke.
Yeah, you can't say that about Legion of Skanks.
E-Rock, Age of Quarrel. E-Rock removed all the Burning Bridges episode after you hate.
Yeah, the rest of this is all just kind of Kevin Brennan stuff. But like, Chad's been getting info from a source. He keeps saying, yeah, I have this source inside Compound Media. My source tells me this. My source tells me that. You got to admit, he's been working. He's been working his sources. He's been getting information, and he's been getting after it. That Chad Zumach. But it'll be exciting. Anthony Cumia goes on at 3:00 Central Time today. Sometimes they do a YouTube preview. Other times they just go live on Compound Media. You want to get a day pass or a subscription, go ahead, compoundmedia.com. It's interesting times over there. You look, man, I don't care what happens. I don't care what they're planning on doing. Whatever they tell you today, I hope it goes well. Compound Media at one point, I mean, they launched a lot of people. They had Legion of Skanks, Shane Gillis, Gavin McInnes, Anthony Cumia all at once doing shows. They had Neil deGrasse Tyson doing shows out of their studio. I mean, Compound Media has been very influential over the last 10 years. People were wondering yesterday, if they change the way they operate or someone else becomes the boss, do we get a Opie and Anthony reunion? I don't think so. It's been, 10 years? I think the demand for that has cooled pretty much all the way down. But yeah, go ahead and watch it. I'm glad that my friends Gino and Chrissy have a gig. I think that's great too. I think that's the right call. But as far as what they're doing officially, I'm not saying. They can say it on Compound today. Cheeseburger Pie says, Aaron, your life is a musical, you gay. Lander says, Aaron likes comparing his life to the gay musical Rent. Kayla tried to get me to watch Rent once. I think I fell asleep. I did. You know what? I did. Kayla was like, we can watch Rent. And I started watching it. And I'm like, are they singing the whole time? Like they're just singing. So this one has AIDS, or they all have AIDS? It's just how much AIDS is going around? Like, am I going to catch it from watching this movie? And I've never seen all of Rent. I wouldn't know. Mr. Beat says, I love Gino, but In Hot Water has been unwatchable since Aaron Berg left. I like In Hot Water. I think it's a good show. To each their own. Atomic Ray says, Compound isn't dead. They just filed their LLC. Well, yeah, no, I didn't. Did I say Compound was dead? Not at all. Sam Show says, kind of cringe to mention O&A these days. About time to move on. I would agree. Opie and Anthony is dead. It's time to, find a new show. It's been long enough. Over 900, heading to 1,000 people for today watching the show right now. Even after I fat-fingered the stop streaming button about a little under an hour ago and fucked up our count for today. Oh, well. 295 is the goal. So we are not very far into today's goal, guys. If you could do me a favor and go on a little rally, get that to 200 by the end of the hour, I would be much more comfortable, very happy. Thank you very much to Mindy Lee for $10 over on PayPal. Very kind of Mindy. To knock the dust off of PayPal today. Very, very cool. 285 is now the number. Keep that going. Fuck you, dude, with $2 says Steve Conti's second mic. I don't know. Conti might have a job. He might still be employed over there at Compound Media. But I like Steve. I think he's great. I think he's a really talented guy. I think he should do his own show, no matter what happens. All right, everybody hit thumbs up. Everybody hit the like. Hit the like button, you cowards. Let's keep going with today's show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm actually excited to get to the granny thing, the granny news. Also, Matt Walsh's take on George Carlin. What a fucking dingleberry that guy is. Not George Carlin, Matt Walsh. And then also Howard Stern commented on the Hawk Tuah girl. People like to give Howard Stern shit about how much he's changed, and so do I. Like, I get it, but there are some times where people give Howard too much shit. And like they try to tack things on to Howard Stern that don't belong in the criticism. Like, in my opinion, when he starts taking dad takes, like he's like, oh, this girl, and this is every dad's worst nightmare, and so on and so forth. And, people are like, oh, fucking Howard's gone soft. Howard's a dad. His girls are, in their 30s and 40s now? I get it. Like, there's some stuff where, like, yeah, Howard's being a PC pussy. I agree. Like, when he talks about Jimmy Kimmel or COVID or, anything like that, Howard comes off as a giant pussy that the old Howard wouldn't tolerate. But then there's some family type shit where, Howard talks about it and you're like, people are like, oh, Howard's selling out again. Howard's doing that. there's some stuff I give Howard a pass on. Like I said, dad and all that. We'll talk about that a little bit later, his take on the Hawk Tuah girl. I think he's actually kind of right. But first, let's get to Dr. Disrespect. So if you didn't know, gaming streamer, Dr. Disrespect, online personality, millions of followers, really big deal. Some news came out on Monday about his Twitch ban. He got banned from Twitch 4 years ago, and he's been on YouTube ever since. He's been doing very well. But apparently just, I don't know why. I don't know if it was somebody lost their job at Twitch and they got a little bitter. But a former employee came forward and said that the reason Dr. Disrespect got banned from Twitch is because he was messaging an underage girl to meet up with him at TwitchCon. Now, we haven't seen these messages, so we don't know if it was like a Chris Hansen thing where he was bringing, Zimas and condoms and shit, or if it was just he was talking to a fan, organized a meetup publicly at TwitchCon, and the fan happened to be underage. We know very little about it. All we know is Dr. Disrespect was being very secretive about it. The people at Twitch seemed to think it was bad enough to ban him from their platform, and you got to remember, this was a guy with millions of fans, so they're taking a big risk, and they're going to lose some money by getting rid of this Dr. Disrespect. He went to YouTube, and he was very successful. They never revealed why they banned him from Twitch. So now this news comes out that he was organizing a meeting with an underage girl, and people start to talk. People start to theorize because they don't have any other information. And they're like, fuck Dr. Disrespect. He's a perv. He's a creep. Fuck him. Blah, 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 so on and so forth. The video game company that he works with, they kicked him out. He's talking about taking a break from streaming because of internet drama and all that. Well, yesterday, Dr. Disrespect decided to write a long Twitter post that 75 million people have seen so far. And it's addressing the Twitch ban. I have not read this yet. If you have read this, then, I guess you can tell us, basically, did he, as the kids say, did he yeet himself? Or, is he going to be able to bounce back because of his explanation? Let's take a quick look at this. Dr. Disrespect says, the Twitch ban. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Now, let me ask you something. I'm not trying to nitpick, but does this look like a quick statement? This looks like a HuffPo article, for God's sake. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. All right, so we start this thing off not exactly in an I'm sorry tone. So is he going to go the full Rekieta and go like, who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes? You got to remember, there's a mountain of evidence that shows you what Nick Rekieta is about, shows you what he does, everything else. This Dr. Disrespect thing, all we've got on this is a Twitch employee saying, I saw the text messages and they're not good. We're just taking somebody's word for it. There's people sweeping for Rekieta in the face of like overwhelming evidence of really evil shit going on. This Dr. Disrespect thing, it seems like everybody's turned on the guy, everybody's rolled over on him, and this is just at the mere suggestion that there were text messages. Now, look, it's just a coincidence that I happen to believe them. I don't think that these Twitch people have a reason to lie. I mean, I don't think Dr. Disrespect is a guy. It's kind of like the Robert Barneses of the world who are like, Nick's the victim of a government conspiracy. And Nick's playing fast and loose with that too. He's alluding that it's a government conspiracy. And then when people call him out for how retarded that sounds, he goes on Twitter because he's so fucking smart. And he goes, I never said it was a conspiracy. I'm like, you said this person from the government is lying and this person from the government is lying. That's more than two people lying to create a narrative about something that's literally a conspiracy. But like this Dr. Disrespect, he's not doing, I want to see if he's going to go that route because the first thing he's saying is let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. I'm getting tired of no filter, by the way. If you're in your 20s and you have no filter, that's fine. I get it. You're extreme, bro. We've all been there. But as I get older, I realize if you're like pushing 40 and you're saying you have no filter, you're fucking gay. Like, you're a bum. You're a loser. What a loser thing to say. I just have no filter. Again, when you're 25, devil may care, nothing to lose, fucking go for it. Have no filter. But when you're 40 and you have children and a life and responsibilities and interpersonal relationships, you gotta have a little bit of a filter, for fuck's sake. I got no filter, man. Oh, so you can't control yourself. If I'm being accused of messaging an underage girl, the last thing I want to say is, I have no filter. I'm a wild man. Can't fucking control myself. No, I would be telling people, I have a gigantic filter. It's when I got it from the pool store. It's the biggest filter you can find. I filter out everything. My filter is like baleen. I'm straining everything through there. Giant filter. When someone says, oh, this out of control Dr. Disrespect, he was just willy-nilly writing underage fans for meetups. The last thing you want to say in response to that is, I got no filter. I'm a fucking crazy guy. No. Put on a fucking suit and pretend you're better than you are, motherfucker. Now is not the time. So he says, let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about. And I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. Okay, so already that first paragraph, I can tell he hasn't thought this through, and he probably released this on a first draft, because the tone at the beginning of the first paragraph and the tone at the end is far different. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. I got no goddamn filter. And at the end, he's like, look, I'm willing to take responsibility. I'm here now. Get ready. Okay. He's keeping me in suspense. It's an interesting letter so far. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community, as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society. That's his company that he got kicked out of. And we made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredibly talented and good people that have high career ambitions and families, and I'd never want to jeopardize the culture we have carefully crafted. Yeah, the last thing you need when you're trying to become like the VP of another gaming company is Chris Hansen busting into your boss's office and going, why don't you have a seat? Why do you have Zimas and condoms? It's a bad look for the place. Everyone has been waiting to know why I was banned from Twitch. But for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the past several years. I mean, it was kind of in his control. Him and Twitch came to a settlement, and that's why he couldn't talk about why he was banned from Twitch. I mean, they settled matters out of court from a lawsuit. Now that two former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Oh, boy. So the accusations are that he sent, not text messages, Twitch whispers, which when I was there, Twitch whispers were private messages. I don't know if they make it sound like they don't have them anymore. Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Okay. At least he's being honest, I suppose. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. Oh, okay. Wait. But that's every guy who that's not a good look, because that's what every guy on To Catch a Predator says. Oh, it didn't mean anything. I was just funning about. Her parents weren't going to be home, and I wanted to make sure he was okay. Okay, but that's why you wrote you wanted to put your blank in her blank until she blanked in your blank. I don't know if we have the chat transcripts or not, but don't say anything you can't take back. That's all. So these were, Dr. Disrespect says these were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. They were underage, bro. Oh, I know we all think we don't need lawyers at times like this. I know we all think, hey, I'm a public personality. I can schmooze and talk my way out of this. Get a fucking lawyer, let them make the statement. Get a publicist, let them make the fucking statement. If you got a lot of money and you're really famous, let professionals speak for you. Because when we think we're being our smoothest, we usually make a shitload of mistakes. Shitload of mistake number one. You should have just stopped at the answer is yes, and I'm really, really sorry, and I feel terrible. Here, the way the paragraph started, were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Boom. Done. Stamp it. Send it in. Because then after that, you can go, I'm really sorry for my actions. I sincerely apologize. I've become a better person since then. So on and so forth. You don't continue on and go, were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. There were casual mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Shh. This is where a publicist would tell you, shut the fuck up. Just go with the answer is yes. We'll put a pat apology out there and you'll be fine. You're not going to say that the conversation with the minor went into the inappropriate. That's like, no matter how much you say JK LOL, that's not going to look good to the rest of us. Nothing illegal happened. Stop. Nobody should have to say nothing illegal happened between me and the minor. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. Well, yeah, but isn't that because you got kicked off of Twitch and you didn't go to TwitchCon? Or did you go to TwitchCon, you didn't meet this person? If that's the case, then, okay. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and the case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear, it was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. See, he's just, why is it that everybody in these situations talks too fucking much? It just makes you look guilty the more you talk. Hey, no, like that's the third time he's already brought up like legal and never was charged and no criminal beat. So you were a fucking creep to an underage girl. Like there's two different courts, man. There's the legal court, there's the court of public opinion. I would retire after this. Now, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father. I didn't know he had kids. It should have never happened. I get it. I'm not perfect, and I'll fucking own my shit. This was stupid. Okay. There's owning, and I appreciate that. And that's great that you're owning what you did. But there's owning and there's oversharing. You're oversharing and saying too much. Now, with all this says, don't get it fucking mistaken. Is he going to get fucking righteous indignation out of this? He'd better not. I've seen all the remarks and labels being thrown around so loosely. Social media is a destruction zone. I'm no fucking predator or PDF file. Okay. I understand you don't want to be seen that way, and you probably don't think of yourself that way. I get that, Doc. But if you're going to come out and address this thing, and you're going to say the stuff you're going to say, that you had an inappropriate conversation with an underage girl, you understand you're not going to be able to stop people from having that opinion about you. And to act like the people saying that are so fucking out of line is not fair either. You've given them more than enough reason to think that about you. I'm no fucking predator. Well, by your own admission, you messaged an underage girl and you had inappropriate conversations with her, and you tried to organize a meeting at TwitchCon. That's predatory behavior, buddy. So you can't, he's talking out of two sides of his mouth. He's going, I'm really sorry for that thing he did. And then out of the other side going, I'm no fucking predator. It's like, are you owning your shit? Or were you a little predatory? He says, are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me fucking knows where I stand on those things with those types of people. Fuck that. Well, yeah, but sometimes people would say therapeutically that that's called projection. So you can't really hide behind that. Oh, you know how I've stated how I feel about those people. It's like, yeah, I also know how priests who fuck boys have talked about gays. I also know how politicians who get caught oiling a guy down in a hotel room feel about gay marriage. Like, I've seen hypocrites before. It wouldn't be new. So forgive me if this is all I know about you and you go, oh, don't call me a predator. I've said terrible things about predators. Yeah, I'm sure priests who fuck kids said terrible things about pedophiles. It doesn't. That's not an excuse that gets you out of responsibility for what you did. That's a different level of disgust that I fucking hate even hearing about. Don't be labeling me as the worst of the worst with your exaggerations. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. See, I hate it when people seem like they wrote their response with a talk to type. You don't have to write like you talk. You can be a little poetic with the shit. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, you typed that out? Dude. But I think I've said, I'm not saying he's got to write it out and be like, this is poppycock and boulder dash, but like, a lot of fuck you and get the fuck out of here and fuck that, fuck this, fuck. But I think I've said what I needed to say regarding the ban itself. That's it. That's why Twitch made the decision in 2020. To my team, community, industry friends that have supported me, I apologize. I wish I could have said this all sooner. You guys have always showed me and my family love and support throughout all these years. We love you guys like you can't imagine. Yeah, I mean, so much so he's thinking of sending you a DM. Well, you know, you or your daughter. I have the best fucking community and circle. If any of this has made you uncomfortable, I get it. You don't have to support me anymore, but just know you have always been greatly appreciated. All right, well, okay, he finally hit a note. But trust me when I say, oh, here comes the but. Remember, everything before but is bullshit. But trust me when I say this. To all my haters that live and breathe social media with zero life experience, I don't give a fuck about you. No. Wait a minute. Doc, no offense, buddy. But you can't go on a fuck the haters rant after you admitted you had an inappropriate conversation with an underage girl. At that point, those aren't haters. That's people judging you for what you've done. Like, for example, myself on a smaller scale, being connected to all this Ricada shit. I'd been gone for 2 months before they got arrested. Almost 2 months before they got arrested. But there was shit I did there that was not good. That was unbecoming of someone with my responsibilities. And I own those. If people give me shit for that, like if a show makes fun of me, or if someone calls me a degenerate, or someone doesn't want to watch my show or hates my show and tells me every day because of all these things, I don't get to go, hey, I owned my shit. You don't get to be a fucking faceless hater online. No, those are reasonable reasons to hate me. That's okay. I can't blame you for that. I think Dr. Disrespect is underestimating how much people will respond to humility. But like, trust me when I say this, to all my haters that live and breathe media with social media with zero life experience, I don't give a fuck about you. Well, you should, because their opinion is valid. You creeped them out. Like, you're a public figure who talked to all these people and made them feel like, you know, you use the word community. You made them feel like you were part of their community, part of their family. And then you did this and they feel betrayed and they want to criticize you for it. That doesn't mean they're living and breathing social media. And you saying that you don't give a fuck about them, I mean, that just seems like you're a little out of control. Finally, if you're uncomfortable with this entire statement and think I'm a piece of shit, that's fine. But I'm not fucking going anywhere. I see. It's hubris. The hubris of us broadcasters. And I wish we would admit it. It's the ego. It's the hubris. It's the arrogance. It's the need to be heard. It's the need to be loved. It's the need to entertain people. You know, this whole defiance thing in the face of you having, again, admittedly an inappropriate conversation with an underage girl. That's not like something to be defiant about. It's not like you're being hated for no reason. You're not being persecuted. People hate you because of something you've now admitted to. I'm not the same guy that made this mistake all those years ago. Okay, fair. I'm taking an extended vacation with my family, as mentioned on stream, and I'm coming back with a heavy weight off my shoulders. They want me to disappear. Yeah, fucking right. And that's from Dr. Disrespect. Dr. Disrespect is, I don't know if I really like that response. I don't really know if he handled that one very well. it seems like, how do I put this? It seems like he's stuck between, does he want to apologize or does he want to, be tough and strong in the face of it? And he tried to combine the two, and it doesn't really work. In my opinion, I don't think that addressing that, this is why you get publicists, this is why you get lawyers, so they can craft a statement for you, because that one seemed very schizophrenic. Like he was on one side of his mouth, he was going, I'm really sorry that I did that. And then on the other one, fuck you if you're judging me, you piece of shit. Who are you to say anything about? So it's hard to tell what's genuine and what's not. Does that make sense? Thank you very much, D, for the $4 Canadian A. Thank you very much. 285 is our goal for today. We're almost at 8 o'clock, and we've made like $40 today. If you could throw in a couple of bucks, that would be great. Potentially criminal with $5. Says that's a lot of words for I did it. Also, he already got his $100 million, so this will never hurt him. $100 million? I looked yesterday. It said he was worth $6 million. Is that not true? It is. It's a lot of words for I did it, but also potentially criminal. That's not necessarily the part of it. Oh, that's the real potentially criminal. I love this guy. He's great. This is Sean, right? Thank you, Sean. That's very nice of you. I'm a fan of your work. It's a lot of words for I did it, but that's not the whole thing that's bothering me about this. It's just the thing isn't sitting well. Maybe I've been going to too much therapy, too much Al-Anon and shit like that. And like that rigorous moral inventory where you have to be honest with yourself. And like, I've become a big fan lately. And we're going to see this when we go through the Granny clip. Granny talking about going to rehab and all that. I'm very proud of Granny for the steps he's taking. But there's something about admitting you were a piece of shit, being humble about it, even saying you're getting better, which is fine, and just owning it and moving on from there. I really respect that, because that's hard to do, because basically what you got to do is you got to take an L. You got to sit there and go, yep. You got to offer yourself up to the crowd. They get to throw tomatoes at you. I think people like Dr. Disrespect have this problem where they feel like they don't deserve the treatment they're getting, or they don't deserve these people. Like, who are these strangers on the internet to throw tomatoes at me? Well, I mean, who are these strangers on the internet who have been supporting you and paying you and giving you money all this time? Like that sword cuts both ways, buddy. Like, you don't just get to go, oh, how dare these people fucking judge me and throw tomatoes. Well, these people, you didn't mind when they were judging you before and thought that you were the cool guy with the wig and the mustache. You got to accept them both. And I think we're going to see Granny talk about his drinking problem here in a little bit. And I think it's a great juxtaposition for this Dr. Disrespect thing. Because to me, Dr. Disrespect is doing this thing where he's going, hey, look, I had this inappropriate conversation with an underage person, but fuck you if you think I'm going away and suck my dick and blah, blah, blah. Like, the hubris that's coming with the admission makes the admission look like you're doing it because you have to. Oh, boy, is the fucking Celsius kicking today. Jesus Christ. I was talking to Slam Piece yesterday, and I'm like, I got to get off of this shit. I love how the people I used to run with are fucking balls deep in coke looking at prison time, and I'm going, oh, man, I'm really struggling here. I got to get off of these Celsius. What a fucking douche. But, like, you got to just come out and go, I had a conversation with an underage girl. I feel absolutely terrible about it. I paid huge consequences for it. I'm very sorry. It was a remarkably inappropriate thing to do. And I understand if you have your opinions about it. Everyone's allowed to have their opinions. I'm going to take a break from the internet for a while. In these last 7 years, I've grown as a person. I've gotten older. I've become more mature. I know this was the wrong thing to do. Don't, stop with I didn't break any laws. I didn't do anything illegal. People are going to like you more in the long run if you just say you did it and you leave no caveats. Boom. You'll be and look, man, it's not like I'm, I'm do as I say, not as I do. Because certainly I've said what I said, and I've admitted all the terrible things I did, failed as a father, failed as a husband, failed as a responsible human being, just, a citizen of the earth, whatever. But I've also gone but I left. So I fuck up too. But I think to have this attitude of fuck anyone who's criticizing me, everyone gets to criticize you. You admitted to something that's going to stir up a lot of emotions for a lot of people. Dr. Disrespect himself said, I have a really strong feeling about predators and pedos and things like that. Well, okay, then you understand how your audience feels about what you just said, because they have those same feelings about that, and they feel that way towards you right now. So if you just admit what you did, and then you go, if you got tomatoes, go ahead and throw them. I hope I get better. People like shit like that. But the people like Dr. Disrespect, they don't want to sit in the barrel for too long and get tomatoes thrown at them. So they pull out the hubris. I don't know. There's a reason. I think potentially criminal nailed it. A lot of words for I did it. I don't know anything about the 100 million, though. That's really interesting. $5 from Atomic Ray says, quickly, fire your therapist before Steel Toe show notes start showing up in your DMs from her. Come on, Pores, rally to rid our lives from therapy hell. I'm going to sing the praises of my therapist. I'm going to sing the praises of therapy. I really am. Yesterday was a good session when I told her, I'm so frustrated because I have this anger towards these people, and it's being, I feel good about it because they're being, they're having to go through hell for what they did. And, I like that. And then I told her, I said, I'm really frustrated because I also still feel very heartbroken. This future that I thought I had is gone, and I'm sad. And I also watched the potential in this person that I loved disappear. And they didn't want to go with me. And they thought that this was a better way. And I knew it wasn't. And, I watched all of this stuff just go down the fucking drain. And I think about it sometimes, and it still makes me sad. And it still breaks my heart. And the therapist saying, well, then have both of those feelings. It's okay. They're not conflicting feelings. You can have them both at the same time. That's remarkably helpful to me. That kind of shit helps me. So no, I'm not going to get rid of the therapist, Atomic Ray. I'm telling you right now. I'm not getting rid of my therapist. I like her. I think she does a good job. 275 is the number for today. Thank you guys very much for your time, your generosity. All of the links are in the chat if you'd like to throw in a couple of bucks. Sam Show says, what the fuck with the therapist? You should be paying us. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm going to move on. Let's get to this granny stuff. Now, we talked about Dr. Disrespect and Dr. Disrespect's whole statement that he just released and why I think it missed the mark, so to speak. If you're not going to come at something like inappropriate conversations with an underage girl with anything but total humility and surrender, you might as well not make a statement. Well, what's his name? Granny from the Backyard Boys podcast, part of that whole Dabbleverse thing. He's got Chops, he's got Lemmy, Corn Diff, and all these other people. He did something that I thought was really brave yesterday. And with my own experiences with addiction and my own experiences with, groups like Al-Anon and things like that and AA, talking to those types of people, I have a newfound respect and I have a newfound appreciation for people who take responsibility. I don't see any weakness in a man saying, I'm powerless over this thing and I need help. I think that is one of the bravest things a human being can do. Any retard can sit there and drink and sniff himself into an early grave. As we've seen, anybody can lose their kids. Anybody can fuck up their life. Anybody can have the world in their hands and fuck it up and throw it away. I think this next story is a great juxtaposition on what a little humility can do and what a little bit of forward thinking can do. I think Granny deserves a lot of credit. I don't think this is a guy that should be laughed at. I don't think this is a guy who should be ridiculed, who should be mocked. This is a guy who's one of the bravest guys out in this whole Dabbleverse thing right now, in my opinion, is Granny. Before we get to it, thank you very much to Balls Deep Oh, don't read. Excuse me, guys. It says don't read this aloud. I want to respect that. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'll agree to that. Thank you very much. That's very nice. If you could DM me a link or anything like that, I would be. Yeah, if we do that today, I would be very happy to do what you're asking. I'm sorry, guys. They want me not to mention it. I'm not going to mention it. Thank you very much for the $50. I appreciate it. 225 away from today. Thank you guys very much. Let's go into this. If you don't know who Granny is, he's been a fan of our show for a while. Even when Lemmy, turned on us because the April swimsuit thing and, her and I getting in a big fight over that and all that stupid internet horseshit. And she went over. She's a Melton person now. Again, I think Lemmy actually did me a huge favor because she kind of proved my point about Melton when I went, dude, if you become someone who hates Steel Toe, you don't really become a Melton fan. You just go over there and have group therapy about how big of a dick you think I am. Lemmy is a perfect excuse. Without me, Lemmy's not an NLO fan. Just like all of his other audience. Lemmy's a perfect example of how I get that audience. That's my audience. But now Granny is Lemmy's husband. He's a good guy. He really is. He's a nice guy. I've talked to him off the air. I've met him in person. He's a good man. I mean, is he Florida man trash who's lobster skinned? Yes, of course. But you know those people down there. You grade them on a curve. He went on the Backyard Boys show yesterday, or 2 nights ago. I'm not sure when this is. And he did something that I think is incredibly fucking ballsy. I think it's something that can help other people. And I wish him and Lemmy nothing but the best. And I want Lemmy to know that, because this is kind of personal for me. And I didn't think this was going to touch me or get me before I played it. But I do want to say to Lemmy, hang on to this guy. Because when you have a partner who's an addict, or you have a partner who has problems and they're willing to get help, that's the baddest motherfucker on the planet. That's a bad dude. That's a good guy. Because there's a good chance that without you and without loving you, he might not be taking this step. And so this is a guy that doesn't just love you when times are good. This is a guy who, when the chips are down and he's feeling like the fucking boat is sinking and the oars are snapping in the water, this guy is still, willing to go do the work and get the help. So, people are going to think, poor Lemmy, this and that, this guy's addicted. This is a good man who really loves the people he cares about because he's willing to say, I'm powerless. I have a problem. I need some help. And he's going to get some help. I will say this to Lemmy. You have no idea how fucking jealous this sounds so gay, but you have no idea how jealous I am of you that you have someone like this in your life. Because this is what I wanted. I wanted someone who gave a shit enough to recognize they had a problem and go get help. That would have made me feel so important. And it would have made me feel so good for them too. If they would have went and gotten a little bit of help and admitted they had a problem. Because I do want, and if Lemmy catches this, if my lost interest clips it or whatever, Lemmy needs to know that this guy isn't just doing this to help himself. He's doing this because it's important to her too. This is an expression of love on Granny's part. It's a love I didn't get. It's a love I didn't have. And it sounds weird to say, but I'm fucking jealous of you guys. That Granny has the fucking balls to do what he's about to say. Let's go ahead and check this out. Granny, by the way, is in the lower right-hand corner.
Have a discussion with Lemmy.
Was it about me?
No.
Okay, good.
No, it was about me. And it's about the thing that you were talking about bringing up.
I was alluding to earlier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fucking Kevin Dumbfuck guy? Is he back? Oh, right. And he got a little bit shredded. Kevin Dumbfuck isn't a weird dorky guy anymore. Well, this is weird.
I'm gonna be gone for a little while.
Where you going?
I'm going to rehab.
Oh, well, good for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
coming.
I'm going-
It's time.
Yeah.
Good.
It absolutely is. And I'll be doing it first thing in the morning. I wanted to tell you guys myself, but they'll be here to get me at 9. Yeah, and whatever they offer, I'll take, man. It's going to be 30 to 60 days, but I'll be able to stream from the halfway house.
Don't bother. Don't worry about it. Just focus on, like, put your whole attention. Like, if it's alcohol, okay, it says Granny Share talks about his problem with alcohol. Alcohol's a powerful one, man, because it's legal. You're not breaking the law by drinking. Like drugs, not that drugs are necessarily easier, but there's a barrier to entry with drugs sometimes. Alcohol's so much easier to fall back into because nobody's going to look at you funny. Everybody goes into a liquor store. Everybody grabs some beer. Everybody grabs some booze. You can do it whenever you want. I would recommend, and Granny obviously doesn't have to fucking listen to me, but I would recommend you just focus 1,000% on kicking that demon of booze. And whenever I hear other people talk about alcohol and being addicted to alcohol, do you ever get that, like, almost like a survivor's guilt feeling? You're like, God damn, I just, whenever people talk about being addicted, you almost feel bad. You're like, I can't imagine something that brings me so much joy. Like, I enjoy the pageantry of drinking. I enjoy the ceremony of making a cocktail and the glasses and everything else. And, you know, last night I had a couple. Haven't had a couple for a week or two, you know? I hadn't had a couple just sitting in the backyard with friends. I haven't done that in 3 weeks, something like that. I mean, Slampy's and I went out to see Colin Quinn. I had a couple drinks, but that's like, you're out, you're social, but like just sitting at home having a few weeks since I had done that. And to hear people talk about, like, I have to do it every day, I was a slave to it, blah, blah, blah. It's just such a terrible thing to hear. Because when controlled properly, like, it can be such a nice, fun little thing you do with your friends and community and family and whatever. To know that it grabs onto people this way, it really does suck, man.
Good.
Which is where I'm going to be after the detox, because once I detox, it's going to be that's going to be the toughest part, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Oh, yeah.
hell.
I mean, because alcohol is a physical detox. Like, they say, like, there's some drugs like cocaine. Well, heroin's a physical detox too, but like cocaine's a psychological one. Because cocaine fucks with your neural pathways and it fucks with a lot of your, receptors and shit like that. You've literally watched me just now. You watched me actually hit my medical wall in my own brain. What my face just did there, that was me realizing you're a fucking idiot. You've said everything you know, everything you say past this point, retard. You don't know what you're talking about. But it fucks with things in your brain. And I guess the withdrawal is shorter because it's a psychological withdrawal, but it does fuck with your mood. Alcohol is a physical fucking reaction, and it's bad. And I hate that they have to use, like, drugs and shit to manage the come down from booze. I guess some people say you can, like, wean them off of booze, but, like, do you really want to be in a rehab and they're serving you alcohol? Not the best look. But then again, prescription drugs,
But they're going to be able to give you the right medication and monitor you, make sure that you don't, pull a ski mask and seize up. So
Yes.
that's good.
Well,
We will be here when you're ready.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's great. Good
Yeah,
for
so
these
you got a
guys.
good support system. Just make sure you realize who's going to help you and who's not.
Yeah.
and with that time that I have left, I'm going to get
This always, watching this and thinking about my own life, and I'm sorry to do that. It's so fucking selfish, whatever, but Like to watch, I'm very, in an odd way, I'm jealous of Granny and I'm jealous of Lemmy in a weird way because I'm watching this guy. I don't think people do we have to have the bush light though? I guess he's okay. He doesn't want to do the detoxing. All right, whatever. Let's focus on the main point here. Like, I don't think people who are addicts understand. Like, their life is hard. People are criticizing me. People are calling me an addict. They're calling me this. It's not fair. I don't like it. Okay, you may not like that. But do you understand how many new friends and family and fans and people who support you that you will have if you come out and say, I have a problem, I want to go get help? Do you understand the amount of people that will drop everything they are doing and they will get you there because they've wanted to hear those words from you forever. I mean, it's music to their ears because they know that there's maybe a light at the end of this tunnel because you've been hurting people with your behavior. And you acknowledging that, it's all they've ever wanted to hear. So what Granny's finding out now is that when you're a drunken asshole, you lose people and your world gets smaller. And when your world becomes, say, 3 people and you're an addict, you think these are the only people in the world who matter. These are the only people who don't think I'm a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. But you understand that if you just turned it around, went in reverse and said, I'm fucking up. I've lost people for a reason. I have a problem. I need to go get better. You are going to have, you will lose the support system you have now. Absolutely you will. But you will have so many more people that are willing to get your back. And that's what Granny's learning now. And I think that's fucking fantastic. And I'm fucking proud of the guy.
Fucking shithouse drunk tonight.
Oh, well.
And I'm gonna fucking... I'm going at it again, man. 9 o'clock in the morning. I think Lemmy's gonna be streaming, if you watch her on Twitch, a little bit late since I'm leaving. But, yeah, it's set up, dude.
Good, dude. I'm very happy that you've made this decision.
And I'm glad that you brought it up on here because, honestly, I think this may have been like a psychological thing for you personally to, once you put it out here, you can't go back type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you put it out there for an audience, that's true. They can hold you accountable. But also, I look at bringing it up to an audience, and then I think of people like Artie Lang, too. So everybody's different because it didn't stop Artie for all those years. So I don't know. All I know is admitting you have a problem and saying you're going to rehab are 2 of the biggest fucking steps you can take. And if I may offer any unsolicited advice at all to Granny, it would be this. Get into groups after you're done. I mean, it helps. Because alcohol addiction is such a low percentage recovery thing. Like, people shit on groups like AA, and I don't think they should. I've watched these things work for people. They're like, AA has such a low success rate. No. Alcohol, in general, has a low success rate of recovery. Any little group or any little thing you can do to up that percentage, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20%, I think it's worth it.
And also, it's going to be breaking the association of always like streaming, drinking at the same time.
That's a good point.
There's going to be associations that you have to break. You're going to have to be able to do these things without doing that thing. So it's going to take some work to be able to do normal things that you do every day that you're usually drunk for, sober. And I'm speaking this from experience.
And yeah, again, Lemmy said something to me that like really resonated with me, and it was that she thinks I think that drinking on stream makes me sharper.
Yes.
No,
absolutely.
It does.
Let me say this. I will say 100%. There's a reason you've rarely ever seen me have more than 1 during a stream. Never more than 2. Is because you feel flat. You're slow. You're not as sharp. Yeah, if you like fuck up a word or you slur a word, like, ah, ha, ha, isn't that funny? I mean, yeah, to the person drinking, but not to the audience member who counts on you being sharp or watches you because they think, he's witty, he's got snappy comebacks, blah, 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 blah. Drink a little bit and it dulls those edges. So people who think, there's a reason Howard Stern doesn't drink on his show and he's the best who ever did it. We're talking about back in the day, Howard Stern. There's a reason for that. It's because you're at your best performance-wise when you're not getting hammered.
It does no way. That's just it's a cope.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way that you won't be 100 times sharper and quicker and funnier if you're not just trash drunk all the time. You know what I mean? That's like a.
It is weird to watch him take a sip of the tall boy while they're talking about not drinking and going to rehab. But I'm sure he's not the first person to ever, go, hey, I'm going to rehab. One more for the road. I get that. It's never too early to start day one, though,
An excuse. Like, oh, I'm so funny and loose when I'm drunk. You can do it without being drunk, and you'll be better.
Yes.
Yeah, no, like, I've been drinking heavily for almost 20 fucking years.
Holy shit.
And you've tried recently, you've gone through this on your own, and it didn't work, right?
No, it didn't work.
Yeah, so it's good that you're accepting, I need help. You want to put it out there, be held accountable. This is great. This is all good stuff, dude.
Fucking good, dude. Good.
Boy, I tell you what, you can say what you want about these smaller podcasts and the corns and you make jokes about, backyard boys and shit like that. I'll tell you this, these guys, I don't know if they read it out of a book or they're just naturally this good at it, but they're nailing it as far as what you do with a friend who admits they have a problem. They're picking him up. They're supporting him. They're saying, absolutely, very good, cool. You need to, like, if you're a friend of an addict, you need to make rehab sound like it's the baddest place on earth to be. Like, hey, this is the place to be. Like, you got to make them think, man, you're going to the coolest place ever. You got this. You're good. Make them feel like a fucking rock star. Because if you admit you're an addict, you don't need to tell them they fucked up. They know they fucked up. They know they're a fuck up. They know they need help. But if they come to you, and look, as someone who's been with an addict, you spend a lot of your waking moments just hoping that they'll come to you and say, I've got a problem. I'm doing too much. I need some help. Like that's your Christmas morning. It's just hoping when you're having a bad dream and it seems real and it's about like real life shit and you wake up and it takes you a minute to realize that it was just a dream and like you're not going to jail for murder or whatever the fuck happened in your dream, or like your car didn't just careen off a fucking cliff. That's the feeling you want when someone tells you they have a problem and they want to get better and they want to remove themselves from that situation. That's waking up from a dream and going, oh God, it was a dream. It wasn't real. Okay, now we move forward. This is nice. So, I mean, if you have someone in your life who has that problem, make coming out as an addict and getting help the coolest, most appreciative thing they've ever done. I mean, treat them like they just won the fucking Super Bowl, because that takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of fucking balls to come out and admit it. So that's really cool what Granny's doing. And it's really awesome that these guys are realizing that this isn't a time to bust balls and that, their friend's doing something great. And I'm sure Lemmy's proud of Granny too. She should be. This has got to be a happy day for her.
Well, I appreciate all the support and shit, man. And again, the support and the chat, man. I love you guys too. This is an outlet for me. I like making people laugh too. And I've been through a lot lately. I'm probably gonna cry.
Let it out.
You're fine.
That's fine. I've been a gay watching your clip and tearing up too. You're fine.
Making people laugh is the biggest outlet to me. And I hope that you guys do enjoy the show. I ain't gonna see it if I don't fucking quit. So I want to see my son grow up. And hopefully continue to make you guys laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, that's don't worry about that. You're gonna be able to make us laugh whether you're drunk or not.
Oh yeah.
You're a funny motherfucker.
Whether you're drunk or not. Well, No, Kevin did a good job with that, but like whether you're drunk or not, it's not. That's not. No drunk. No. We don't need to worry about the drunk part of the equation. Fuck. You're gonna make people laugh whether you're drunk or not. Not. You're gonna make people laugh when you're not drunk.
But no, honestly, Granny, no, shut up for a second. No, straight up, like this might be our final cheers for tonight. Let's do as many as we can. Cheers to you tonight, man. Cheers.
Hell yeah.
Well, good for, you know what? Yeah, good for Granny, man. That takes a lot of balls. Anyone who thinks that going to rehab or anything like that is like, oh, it's soft or it's weak or this and that. It's the fucking ballsiest thing you can do. It is the toughest thing you can do. And I tell you what, the people who love you, you are making their fucking day. Their life, their week, their year. This is probably the most proud of Granny Lemmy's ever been. I mean, like I said, I died for a day like that. And when I couldn't get a day like that, I uprooted, what was my future at the time and said, I got to move in a different direction. I can't do it. Not Little Lemmy with $5 says, I'm very proud of Granny for this. My Lemmy account is banned because you're a coward, but I wanted to say thanks for the support from the community. What? I never banned a... Is that the real Lemmy or is that not the real Lemmy? I don't know. But I wouldn't ban Lemmy. You got to remember, I'm in the super chat part of the YouTube chat because the regular chat moves too fast lately. So I can't see what the mods are doing. But you should know, I don't know Lemmy to be someone who spams chat. Like I said, if someone spams chat or doxes people or anything like that, yeah, give them the fucking heave-ho. But like I don't think that's anything Lemmy does. Los Federales says, sent you $2, says, sent you a message in X. Please read it. Okay, I certainly will. $220 away from today's goal. Let's get her into the 100s. What do you say? Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chats, memberships, etc. No, that $50 was not from Mersh, and he did not call me the gay F word, Sam Show. Thank you. Mr. Beat says, I thought Lemmy from No, not Lemmy from Motorhead. Bigot on socialist media says, let's hope everyone gets around him and gives him support when he's back. J. Brock Contrarian says, I don't think that's really corn talking. How fucking dare you? Hooters Girl says, is he getting help because she gave him an ultimatum or because he actually wanted the help? Big difference. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If someone you love, look, man, I gave an ultimatum. I got fucking screamed at for it. I mean, I guess I'll share a story to relate to maybe what Lemmy's going through. When Nick left that bullet next to my 4-year-old, when it fell out of his pocket, it sat there. The first person who came to me to apologize or for any kind of comfort was Kayla. And we were out in the garage, and Kayla said, I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. This has to stop. Meaning the cocaine, because it had been something I had a problem with even before that. She said, I'm sorry, it has to stop. And she sat, we sat on the same chair. She gave me a hug, and I said, it's got to fucking stop. Like, I'm shaking with anger. I can't even remember how fucking mad I was. And I said, this shit has to go away. And I got to the point, I go, it's either this goes or I go. And she goes, yes, I know, no more. It has to be done. And I remember when I talked to April about it, I said the same thing. I talked to Kayla, and I said, either this goes or I go. And she agreed it had to go. And April got mad. And she was like, no, it does not have to go. It was a mistake. And how dare you say that you love someone and then you give them an ultimatum like that? And I got fucking screamed that whole night. It was like fatalistic screaming about what a piece of shit I was. Also, because I didn't go up to where she and Nick were after it happened and talk to her about it. I'm like, I was going to beat the fuck out of that guy if I saw his fucking face. So sorry for not going up there. Not sorry Kayla came down. We played board games with the kids and all this shit. April didn't even fucking come downstairs. And then when I said that, hey, this shit has to go or I go. Miss, I give a shit about my stepkids. No, it doesn't have to go. And how dare you make that ultimatum? That is so not cool. And I'm just like, that was, I think, one of the last times I ever brought it up or fought with her about cocaine. Because then when she would bring it up after that, she's like, why don't you just come in there when we do it? Or why don't you come in there when I'm chopping it up or process or whatever? And she's like, you'll see it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, you're not understanding. You can't manipulate me out of this. I do think it's a big deal. I'm not saying this because I haven't seen it. I've fucking seen it. I don't like it. So, for the people saying, oh, well, what if Lemmy just gave him an ultimatum? Fucking good. And if he responded to that people think that if you give them an ultimatum, they're automatically going to pick you. No, sometimes people will pick the substance. So for Lemmy, if Lemmy gave Granny an ultimatum and he said rehab, fucking good for both of them. Good for her for, planting her feet in the ground and taking a stand. And good for Granny for realizing what his fucking priorities were in life, because not everybody does that. So good for him. I'm sorry. We got him on the line here. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, man?
This is Granny. Hey, man. First of all, fucking ballsy what you're doing. Unbelievable what you're doing. It takes superhuman strength, I want you to know, to do what you're doing. I've seen it go the other way, and what you're doing is not an easy thing. It's not something that people can come to easily. It's not something that everybody can even come to. So I just want you to know you're doing a fucking Herculean thing right now.
Well, I appreciate it. They delayed me an hour, but they're going to be here like at any time to pick me up. And no, it's not court ordered. I saw in the chat. It's definitely not court ordered, man. A friend of mine got me a grant to go do what I'm doing. So y'all are fucking paying for it. And it is something that I have to do. And there was no ultimatum, man. This is a self decision. I'm not a mean drunk, but I'm definitely destroying myself.
Yeah.
And it shows, you know what I mean? So I was just calling in to she had everything to do with it, but nothing to do with my decision, because it is for my family and not myself. And I would always sacrifice myself for my family. And that's the biggest thing. So.
I will tell you, man, going through what I've been going through the last couple of months, this may sound strange, but maybe you understand now, maybe you'll understand later. I'm jealous of you, man. I really am. I'm very jealous. I mean, I would have killed a human being to hear the words that you said come out of somebody else's mouth. So I just want you to know, I guarantee you've made a lot of people very happy. You've brought a lot of joy to a lot of people by doing what you're doing. And I don't want you discrediting yourself at all if you say, oh, Lemmy, said this or Lemmy said that. Well, sometimes that's what it takes, is someone we care about to point out the harm we're causing to go and change. And wanting to change is huge. And if I may make a request, I don't want to put too much on you. I'm not, Lord knows I'm not the best at handling addiction things and stuff like that. But if you would consider going to any kind of groups, I won't say their name or anything like that after this is done. I've watched it work wonders for people, and it really is an amazing outlet.
Yeah, I would have to go to a different one because I've been thrown out of one. But yeah, it wasn't great. I just saw somebody I didn't like, and I was also drunk at the time. So, but no, man. Actually, they're here now. So
okay.
I'm gonna get my shit packed up, and I appreciate the kind words. I really do, from you and everybody else. And thanks everybody.
All right. Well, I tell you what, Granny, Godspeed, man. I hope it goes great, and work your fucking ass off to kick this thing, man. You're on the right track.
Yeah, I'm beating it.
All right.
Ain't no fucking, there's no going back.
Attaboy, man. Best of luck to you, and I'm proud of you.
All right, thanks.
All right. There's Granny calling in. God damn, man. Almost like we fucking planned the segment to end that way. Holy shit, man. That is good. Good for him. Good for him. I can't say it anymore. Or I can't mean it anymore. I would have. I'm living vicariously through the two of them right now because boy, did I fucking want that moment. That the moment that Lemmy's getting right now, I fucking wanted that moment so bad. And I've let go of it since. Like, I don't, if that moment came now, I wouldn't give a shit at this point. You know, bridge burned, damage done. But there was a time, around February, March, where I would have killed to hear that speech from someone else that Granny gave. Good for him. Let's go to the Rumble chat here and pick out a few people. I would be really interested to hear from Lemmy, too, if she wanted to call into the show. Because I can relate to her perspective more than I can relate to Granny's perspective. All I know is that I'm just really proud of Granny for doing what he did. That's why I became a fan of Aaron. Just be genuine and truthful. It resonates. Thank you, West Coast Patriot Girl. But I don't, first thing I fucking see is about me. I appreciate it. Labglass says 5% rate. It sucks. I've been clean for 13 years. And yes, I go to meetings. I think the meetings thing, it just helps to hear from people who have the same experience as you. That whole knowing you're not alone thing. I know with the meetings I go to, it's mixed. It's people who have problems and people who have suffered from loved ones who have problems. And I will say, just hearing other people tell their stories and their stories being very similar to mine helps me feel fucking normal. So, and I don't know if Granny's taken any tips or advice, but I would highly recommend a program going to meetings for people who deal with that person. They're incredibly helpful. I know people who go to the meetings are like, Aaron, you can say the name, you can say the name. I still feel uncomfortable. I don't know why. Some good news from this shitty Dabbleverse community, says Bigot on socialist media. Yeah, I don't want to, nobody should shit on that. That's an amazing thing that happened. Aaron's getting his therapy session in early today. I watched some of that last night, and I thought that was great. T. Thompson says, good for him. Granny is awesome. West Coast Patriot Girl, I like that Granny, man. I'm rooting for him. Nothing gay at all about a bunch of dudes sitting around drinking beers when one of them is naked, says J-Bra. Oh, I mean, look. I mean, everybody, it's not how you admit you have a problem. It's the fact that you're doing it. Bronson Maverick says it does matter. If you're getting help because of an ultimatum, chances are that sobriety won't last. The ultimatum, though, can shock you into realizing, oh, my God, I fucking hurt people, and I really got to do something about it. Labglass says sobriety is for you, not anyone else. You have to do it for you first. Well, as Granny just said to us, that's who he's doing it for. He seems like he wants it. He said he wants to see his kid grow up. Yeah. Sam Show says he doesn't have to go through with rehab. He could just choose to keep drinking and just deal with the consequences of that if he wanted, but he chose rehab. That's all that matters. I agree. Yeah, a lot of people writing about the story I told. I agree with you guys. I do. It was sad then, but it's just fortunately, it's been long enough now where it's just a story that I have as part of my life. It's just the way it was. And we're off to better things now. West Coast Patriot Girl says, I'd pay all day for people to go to rehab. It took the law and my health for me to sober up, says Labglass. I'm going to skip around a bit here. There's a lot of people writing in on this Granny thing. Bigot on socialist media says, I guess I'm grateful I was only addicted to cannabis and I could stop without help. Yeah, those people they're lucky. J-Bra says, Aaron would be the chief if the chief was a woman and talked nonstop. Thank you guys very much. Los Federales wants me to read a message that he sent for Granny. Let me get to that here. This is from Los Federales. I was completely consumed by alcohol, and I hit my personal rock bottom late 2022. My beautiful wife never gave up on us, even when I did. She took care of me at my worst, and now that I've been clean for over a year, all that love I have for her came rushing back and renewed our strength and determination. We have a beautiful family and are expecting our second child in November. I owe my life to her. She never gave up and saved me. It was extremely difficult to break the habit, but I never gave up fighting. I was tired of feeling tired and did not want to expose my kids and repeat the alcohol cycle in my family. At 43, I'm finally free from it and feel the best I have ever felt in my life. I battled addiction for 20 years. No shame to admit that it's okay to not be okay. All right. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Woo. Yikes. That was a heavy moment there. And again, good for Granny. Kotod says, never had Granny being a better person than April on my 2024 bingo card. Shit's weird, man. Shit gets weird. $220 away from today's goal. If you'd like to contribute to our little show, the links are in the chat, both Rumble and YouTube, Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, gifted memberships. They all work. Let's get this into the 100s by the top of the hour, and we'll have a good shot at making it 12 shows in a row for the streak. Thank you, guys, so much. Okay, I think we can move on from the Granny stuff. I've also got fucking Matt. Oh, God. Is it time for the Matt Walsh story? God, do I hate this prick. Maybe some people have been snowed by Matt Walsh. They like him. Oh, he's fucking based. And, he works for Ben Shapiro. I knew I kind of hated Matt Walsh, and I thought he was kind of a worm when I was watching it was years ago. Probably, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6, 7, maybe even. I was watching a Revenge of the Sis clip where Ben Shapiro had said on Joe Rogan, kind of a big show, that he believed Jesus Christ was a man who led a rebellion against the Roman Empire and got killed for his troubles. That, because Ben's Jewish, but just because you're Jewish and don't believe in Jesus as your savior doesn't mean you have to be a fucking prick about it. Your people already killed him. You won. Fucking relax, okay? You won the killing Jesus sweepstakes. But to be so fucking cold and shitty about it, what I hate about people like Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro is that they do that. Facts don't care about your feelings. But there's a difference between facts not caring about your feelings and then just you going out of your way to be a cunt just because you think it's a cool brand to be a cunt. Ugh. But Matt Walsh got confronted at some college speaking tours he was doing. And remember, at these college speaking tours, Matt Walsh is Mr. Hey, man, I fucking say what I want. And, fuck the PC police and blah, 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 all this, happy horse shit that he does. Well, he does all that speaking, and then it comes question time. And the people asking questions are like, what do you think about your boss over there at the Daily Wire saying, you're Mr. Christian? But Ben Shapiro goes, I think Jesus was a guy who led a rebellion against the Romans and he got killed for his trouble. And then Matt Walsh would give these sycophantic, coping, fucking cheerleader answers. He's like, oh, my boss is Jewish? Oh, thanks for breaking the news. I didn't know Ben Shapiro was Jewish. Wow, you got me. It's like, no, that's not what he's saying. He's saying you as a Christian, if you talked to Ben and kind of argued and debate, because isn't Matt Walsh Mr. Debate? He wants to debate Leah Thomas. I don't want to debate all these people. I want to take all these people who have no experience in politics and I want to debate them so I can humiliate them and all this. You know, you won't debate your own boss about his bullshit take on Jesus because you're like a super Christian dude. So I thought Matt Walsh was a dishonest piece of shit way back then. And then you've got Matt Walsh makes that gender, like What is a Woman movie. And you start with a premise that most of us agree with already, but then you selectively edit it and like you're shitty and gay about it. Like, how do you take a topic that most of us agree with and still make us hate you over it? Yuck. So Matt Walsh had a take yesterday that I got to say, even I had to quote tweet this one and call him a fucking asshole. Usually I don't really pay attention to Matt Walsh. But somebody made a post about Carlin. It was June 23rd. That was Sunday, I believe. Sunday marked 16 years ago. We lost George Carlin. He died. And, you know, a lot of people have asked me, they said, Aaron, what kind of started this PC police shit? What kind of started the speech police shit? To me, it was two separate things. Don Imus and the nappy-headed hose thing and George Carlin's death. Because George Carlin, say what you want about his politics, George Carlin defended everybody and their right to say horrible, offensive shit. He always thought language was important, and he wasn't a political hack when it came to that. In fact, he didn't like politicians of any party, period. So losing Carlin 16 years ago, I think had a huge impact on the way Matt Walsh fucking makes a living. This cunt, Matt Walsh, he makes a living saying there's a culture war out there, and we need to fight for values and blah, 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 blah. Carlin was one of the guys on the fucking front lines fighting speech policing. I mean, Matt Walsh sits in a comfy, cozy-ass studio, not pulling his weight, talking shit, being a smug cunt. Carlin was out on the front fucking lines getting arrested for his material. Carlin was out there being the subject of a fucking Supreme Court case about freedom of speech. So I don't want to hear Matt Walsh saying George Carlin was overrated. Who the fuck is Matt Walsh? So somebody wrote 16 years ago this week, we lost George Carlin. Let's put this up on the screen. I can't even imagine what he would be saying about the world we're living in now. He'd be so angry and funny and tell the truth like he always did. Now, I agree with that. But I hate it when people go, oh, if so-and-so were here today. People do this with Patrice O'Neal. If Patrice O'Neal were here today, he'd say this. I'm like, nah, he'd probably say nothing that we'd expect him to say. Same thing with Carlin. You wouldn't be able to guess his take. That's what made him so special. But Matt Walsh is a square who's LARPing as a cultural tough guy. Matt Walsh is a fucking nerd. He's one of these right-wing guys, talk shit, and he'd show up at some event and some guy would confront him and he'd go, oh, I don't know why we need to be so hostile about this and blah, 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 blah. He's a bitch. Matt Walsh is a bitch and kind of a grifter. So this person writes about George Carlin, and Matt Walsh didn't have to comment on this. It was, hey, 16 years ago, we lost a guy that we really loved, and it's too bad. Miss you, George, so on and so forth. You know that guy at a party or at some kind of event you're at, and he feels like he has to fucking have a contrarian opinion about every cock-sucking thing? I got bad news, Matt. Everybody hates you for doing what you do. Everybody thinks you're a fucking jackass. And second of all, we all know you don't mean it. We all know there's nothing worse. There's nothing more wormy and low and shitty than trying to be contrarian guy. Ugh. So Matt Walsh responds to this person by saying, George Carlin is easily the most overrated stand-up comedian of all time. Matt, I will take your opinion into consideration when it's about male genitals because you're obsessed with them. Matt Walsh knows a thing or two about dicks. He loves looking for them. He sees a trans person. He's looking for their cock. He's like, I know they've got it taped in there somewhere. Let me take a look. I can taste a cock usually. If there's a cock there, I can taste one. Let me go ahead and lick this trans person, find out if they have I need to know if they have a dick before they pick up a basketball. Matt Walsh knows about cocks. So if it's about dicks and penises and cocks and trans and this and that, I'll listen to Matt Walsh. I mean, I probably won't, but I'll listen to his area of expertise. Matt Walsh's opinion on stand-up comedy, Suck my trans cock, honestly. George Carlin is easily the most overrated stand-up comedian of all time. Yeah, fuck like 20-some HBO specials, Mark Twain Award, a Supreme Court case, fought after his material, getting arrested for your shit, speaking truth and talking about taboo subjects when there were actually consequences to deal with it. George Carlin, the most overrated stand-up comedian of all time. Matt Walsh is, you know what I do appreciate about him? He looks like the puke that he comes off as. You know, you can see a Matt Walsh coming from a mile away. There's some people who grow beards because it looks good and they fit the lifestyle. There's other people who grow beards because they're a fucking pussy of a dude and they want to put something on them that makes them look like a man. He never really challenged mainstream culture. Are you out? Wow. Tell me you don't know shit without telling me you don't know shit. George Carlin never challenged mainstream culture. Again, Supreme Court case because of his material challenging mainstream use of language. He literally challenged the words you can't say on television, the biggest medium we had. This man's retarded. And I understand, like, Matt Walsh is a complete phony, and he probably just did this to get people like me to yell like this, but then at least tell your audience that. Don't go on the Daily Wire and hide behind, I'm a principled conservative. You're not. You're a cunt. Be a cunt. Say, I'm Matt Walsh, I'm a cunt. That's fair. That's fine. Don't go, I'm Matt Walsh and I'm fighting for the culture. And if you think you're fighting for the culture and you think George Carlin was overrated and didn't challenge the mainstream, you're not qualified to criticize the culture because you don't understand the impact that this fucking guy had. He just packaged a bunch of pretty standard liberal rants and complaints with swear words so people would think he was edgy. Okay. Now I'm actually starting to pity Matt Walsh because now I'm realizing he didn't get George Carlin. Like, George Carlin spelled his shit out for you. He made it very understandable. It went right over Matt Walsh's head. Yeah, Matt, those rants that Carlin did on the death penalty and how we should find different ways to execute people. Yeah, George Carlin was a real, they were all just liberal rants, right? You know, all the stuff he did, talking about, language and the prudes who wanted to stop language. Yeah, really, liberal guy, We should be free to use words how we want and this and that. Like, yeah, what a guy who just sides with the authoritarians. You fucking dingleberry. Most of his later stuff in particular is cringe as hell. What? His later stuff... You understand Back in Town was one of his best specials ever, done in the 90s. If you're a Matt Walsh fan and you're a fan of mine, I'm asking you. I'm just asking you to strongly reconsider. That's all. I'm just asking you to reconsider because he fucking stinks. King of All Yeti says, I'm funnier than you, Aaron. And I agree with Matt Walsh. Carlin was super overrated. No. I can't go with you, buddy. Usually I respect King of All Yetis. I can't go with him on this one. Carlin was overrated. I'll throw out comedians that I think are overrated. Oh, yeah, Sam Show. I agree with Sam Show. Matt Walsh is classically called an edgelord. I agree. I'll tell you who's overrated. Lenny Bruce's comedy is overrated. His contribution to comedy is not. Like, he challenged norms and everything else and pushed, set the bar higher. His actual material, I'm going to say this. This might get me in a lot of trouble. I believe Bill Cosby was overrated as a stand-up. Sorry. It was a little hokey to me. That's all. Actually, I was looking at some local shows that are coming up in like our state, in our area. And I saw that Leno is coming to a casino in like September, I think I'm going to go see Leno because like he's up there now. He's old. And people have said that Leno was, because I only know Leno from The Tonight Show. And people said that before The Tonight Show, Leno was one of the top comedians in the country. So I'd like to see him go work. I really would. Guys, we are 220 away from today's goal. Can we knock that out? We are a ways away. We haven't really brought up the goal much today. I'm proud of that. But also, we have about an hour and 10 minutes left, and we are quite a ways away from today's goal. So if you could, I would appreciate it if you throw a little something in the PayPal, Streamlabs, Venmo, Rumble Rants, YouTube, whatever. Let's all band together. It's rally time. Let's go on a little bit of a rally here. And let's knock out today's goal. We got an hour and 10 minutes to do it, and we're at 220. So we're about $100 into today's goal, almost 3 hours in. Let's see if we can go on a run, throw in, 5, 10, 15, 20, and let's crush this thing. First person to throw in $20 on PayPal today is getting $50 to Stoney's Bar in Rockville. Of course, Stoney's is where we've got our anniversary party coming up on Saturday, August 10th. That is more than half sold out already. The comedy show is. Still plenty of tickets left for the cornhole tournament. You can pick your own partner for that, by the way. Stoney's in Rockville, Saturday, August 10th. Get your tickets on eventbrite.com. It's going to be at Stoney's. What's today, Wednesday? Tomorrow night is bike night at Stoney's Bar in downtown Rockville. Visit Stoney's today. Grab yourself one of their world-famous Bloody Marys. Have a beer on the patio. Hang out at Stoney's Garage, the indoor-outdoor patio, which is pretty great because if it rains, if it washes out your day outside on the patio, you can go to Stoney's Garage. They have the big garage door open. You can still be outside in many ways. That's Stoney's Bar in downtown Rockville. Midland Armory in downtown Foley, Minnesota. If you're in the area, go check out the selection at Midland Armory in downtown Foley. Also, you can go online to midlandarmory.com, order your next firearm, and use Gearfire Capital. Gearfire Capital is a new financing arm of Midland Armory that will help you keep your gun purchases to an easy monthly payment. It's an option to consider with Midland Armory in downtown Foley. Anything over $500, you can finance through Gearfire Capital. Midland Armory in downtown Foley, midlandarmory.com. And then, of course, also All Care Towing, 320-253-5203 for our pals at All Care. All Care Towing with the trucks and wreckers that you need to get you where you need to go. And when you break down, when you get in an accident, when you go in the ditch, get a flat tire, car won't start, All Care is there to pick you up. All right, guys, 220 away from today. We need to start rallying up, or I'm going to start being a panicky Pete and a beggy little bitch. Rather not. A great show today, by the way. Hit like, hit subscribe. I appreciate all of your guys' support, however you give it. If you can't throw us a couple of bucks, throw us a like, throw us a subscribe, but let's start knocking down that number. Lab Glass with $5 says, pick your own partner or share a partner. Who cares as long as you cornhole? You know, guys, I think I understand what he was trying to say there with that. $215 away from today. Let's go ahead and knock it out, do that 30 minutes of overtime, and make it 12 shows in a row that we have our streak going. Well, tomorrow's the big day. It's the debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And the Daily Caller went ahead and put together a montage of Donald Trump's greatest debate moments. And I thought we would go over these today. We have a Howard Stern clip today of him talking about the Hawk Tuah girl. And I got to be honest with you, I kind of agree with Howard's take on the Hawk Tuah chick. I know you're not allowed to agree with Howard Stern anymore because he's an old man and he's washed up and he's PC and he's all these things. But I think Howard kind of nailed it on the Hawk Tuah girl. We'll do that in just a little bit. Sam Show says that debate is going to be so damn boring. I am excited, not for Trump. I'm excited to see how, what condition Biden's in for this debate. That's fascinating to me to see if Biden's going to be, coherent, if they're going to have him jacked up on God knows what or whatever the fuck they're going to do for this debate. It'll be really interesting. But Daily Caller made a montage of Trump's greatest debate moments. Let's go ahead and check these out, see how many of them we remember. I wonder what kind of gems he's going to come up with tomorrow.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs.
Oh, this is my favorite
dogs,
one.
Slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account.
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
He's right. Well, you're right. That's true. He only called Rosie O'Donnell that. So it's not like he thinks all women are pigs and slobs and dogs. He just thinks Rosie O'Donnell is. And it just so happens that Rosie O'Donnell, by most people's account, is a pig and a slob and a dog. So, I mean, are we gonna yell at a broken clock for being right twice a day? Jesus.
This is a tough business to run for president.
I know you're a tough guy, Jeb.
And we need to have a leader that is
real
principled.
tough.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the presidency.
Let's see. I'm at 42 and you're at 3. So far I'm doing better.
Doesn't matter.
The awesome thing about him in 2016 was watching people not know how to handle him because he just broke all the rules. Like all of these guys before Donald Trump, they would speak and then the other guy would speak. Sometimes there would be some crosstalk, but they'd shut that shit down pretty quick. Trump would like just take over other people's time and just argue with them while they're setting up their premise. I think that's why he skipped these debates this last primary, because he was ahead by so much. So he's like, I stand nothing to gain by doing these debates. And also maybe people had like figured some stuff out about his debating style and they might have tried that on him. They didn't get to.
And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem.
That's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit that the Russians and Donald supported the invasion of Iraq.
Wrong.
That is.
By the way, can Hillary Clinton really shit on anybody for supporting the invasion of Iraq? I mean, if Trump supported it, she fucking sat there with pom-poms cheerleading the goddamn thing, probably because her and her husband owned stock in all the armament companies and the oil companies that were going to get all the no-bid contracts. I love how everybody thought that, like, oh, the Bushes, the oil family, you know, they're the ones that are prospering from this war in the Middle East. And they did, and Dick Cheney did, and all those guys did. You don't think the oldest and most powerful Democratic families had stock in all those companies and didn't like sit there right in lockstep with the president and go, yeah, no bid contract sounds fine. Yeah, invade Iraq sounds fine. They all stood to profit from that as well.
Is absolutely
wrong.
Proved over and over again.
Wrong.
He actually advocates Social Security payroll contribution will go up, as will Donald's, assuming he can't figure out how to get out of it. But what we want to do is to replenish the Social Security Trust Fund.
See, I don't think these are his best debate moments. I think his best debate moments came in like a lot of those primaries where he would just call people names. That's what I don't like about political type people, like these people who are obsessed with politics rather than comedy. When they're like, these are Trump's best moments. It's like, here's where he told her she was wrong. Ha, ha, ha. No, I want the one where he's just calling people fat and ugly and she's bleeding from her cunt and shit like that. That's the Donald Trump that I want. I want to see the UFC have the Mexicans fighting each other in a pit. I want a pit and I want a octagon and I want the Mexicans fighting each other.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
Oh, see, now that was a good one. Like the way he needled Jeb was always good, but that you'd be in jail thing. I remember watching that. I was with my first wife at the time, and she was upstairs with the kids, and I'm watching the debate on TV, and I'm watching it like a fucking football game. Like I'm standing up watching this shit because I'm like, what the fuck is this guy going to say next? And when he said the you'd be in jail thing, that was like oh shit. Like he just told his opponent he's going to throw her in prison if he's elected president. What the fuck is going on here?
We have a higher deficit with China now than we did before. We have the highest trade deficit
China
with
ate
Mexico.
your lunch. All right, 18%. China ate your lunch, Joe, and no wonder. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out. Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated
either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me.
See, now I forgot about that one. I remember we were in the throes of COVID, though, so that kind of sucked. That whole election was a bummer just because, like, oh, God, fucking COVID and shutdowns and masks. And the whole thing was just kind of demoralizing.
Don't ever use that word.
Probably by design.
It's not my fault that it came here. It's China's fault. And you know what? It's not Joe's fault that it came here either. It's China's fault. They kept it from going into the rest of China for the most part, but they didn't keep it from coming out to the world. And nobody has done more.
You know, that's true. Like, Donald Trump was on the Wuhan lab leak thing from Jump Street back when Fauci was disagreeing with him and the whole scientific community was disagreeing with him. He's like, it came from China. They let it out. And then, like, they waited until COVID was over to tell us that, oh, yeah, that's probably the case. It's like, fuck you guys. You weren't even tricking us. Like, none of us were like, oh, man, really? Wow, that's crazy. You had us convinced that it was bats and shit. Like, we all knew, and then they had the audacity to fucking admit it 3 years later. Like, last year, they finally came out and said, yeah, it was the lab. And we're like, yeah, we know it was the fucking lab. While you were calling us all racist, we were saying it was the lab. And you were saying, no, we're not the racist ones. We think these backwards retards in China eat bats, and that's how they got sick. Not like a first world fucking bioweapons lab produced it and it just snuck out.
More for the black community than Donald Trump. And if you look, with the exception of Abraham Lincoln, possible exception, but the exception of Abraham Lincoln, nobody has done what I...
So... he's not even willing to let Abraham Lincoln off the hook as like a for sure thing. That he was the main, the best president for black people. He's like, maybe Lincoln, maybe, but I'm probably better for blacks than Abe Lincoln. In fairness, Abe Lincoln had a low bar. He just had to not let black people be slaves. And that made him the best president for black people. I mean, that's kind of the beneficiary of low expectations, West Coast Patriot Girl says, I think it's weird that we haven't gotten that ass kicking from Russia with Joe Schmo. We haven't gotten an ass kicking from Russia? I see now. I feel like we have. We instigated a war with Russia in Ukraine. It's bled us of hundreds of billions of dollars, and Russia's kicking the shit out of the Ukrainians. Ugh. So I feel like we kind of have gotten that lashing from the Russians under Joe Biden. Let's go to Tony with $5. Tony says, what's the point of a debate? They both have had the opportunity to prove how they'll do the job. It's a good point. Trump made Fauci the face of COVID. Let's not forget Operation Warp Speed and Trump's COVID welfare checks. You are not wrong. Trump needs to be held accountable for his vaccine endorsements. Needs to be held accountable for, the inflation that happened because of those stimulus checks. I mean, in fairness, if everybody hadn't been shutting down their fucking states, we wouldn't have needed the stimulus checks, but it's a little late for all that, isn't it? Well, all of those contributions put us at 205. All right, guys, $205 away from today's goal. Let's knock it out. There's the links in the chat. What do you say you drop in some big ones on us and we knock this thing down real nice and smooth? About 200 even away. If you can throw in something to the Streamlabs and the PayPal and everything else, I sure would appreciate it. And also, today's show, looking great, even though fucking dummy over here fat-fingered the stop streaming button about an hour in. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Hit share, hit like, but mostly hit us up at the bank account so we can knock this thing out. So we can hit this thing. We can do our half hour of overtime. We can call it a success and add another day to our streak. I sure would appreciate it. Okay, let's talk about Howard Stern. Howard Stern was talking about the Hawk Tuah girl, and she's obviously become a fucking out of control meme. The spit on that thing, Hawk Tuah girl. Howard decided to talk about her, and look, we can talk about how he's out of touch and, but he's a dude in his 70s. Like, he's not going to be the most in-touch guy in the world. Like, he's going to have some takes that are, well, boomery. He's a fucking boomer. So I thought his take on Hawk Tuah girl, though, like, I think if you have kids, especially girls and they're a certain age, you look at Hawk Tuah girl and you watch it and you're like, yeah, it's funny, but you also are like, oh, shit. Like, you kind of, there's a little bit of concern there, too. Now, my oldest is 10. So I'm not sitting here going, oh, Hawk Tuah girl. Oh, my God. But Howard's had young girls who have grown up and have gone on to have families of their own. So he probably views this a little differently. Let's take a listen, and you can decide whether or not you think Howard still sucks or you think this is a fair take. Here we go. And while you're at it, go to the PayPal, go to Streamlabs, go to Venmo, go to Super Chats, throw us a couple bucks because we're a little over $200 away, and I'm starting to worry about being able to keep the streak alive today. Thank you guys for your support.
I was wondering if you heard of that Hawk Tuah girl that's gone viral.
How could you avoid her? I mean, I'm on Instagram not that much, but the Hawk Tuah girl is every other clip is the Hawk Tuah girl. And I think if I'm analyzing it, the reason people like it so much, the girl, first of all, is so uninhibited. And it's just so natural when she says it. It's like she didn't even think about it.
Yeah, they did. They just asked her what drives guys crazy. And she goes, excuse me, Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. She's like, hey, what are you spitting on my dick? Fuck, this girl's about it. I don't know, though, like, because they asked, like, what drives a guy wild in the bedroom? And she goes, when you Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I mean, it tells me about your mindset and how gung-ho you are for this thing, but I don't know if getting my dick spit on is the thing that drives me nuts. Call me simple, but, like, putting my dick in a vagina, that part's pretty good. What drives your guy wild in the bedroom? Fucking. That's what drives me wild. So, like, women have this idea, I'm going to do this for him, I'm going to do that for him, and guys are like, that's where I want to put my cock. I know that feels good. I remember that. My fucking hamster brain knows that this wants to be there. So if you want to do the Hawk Tuah thing, I mean, that's fine. But there's a lot of guys now the last 2 weeks since this bitch became a thing that have been getting their dick spit on by girls who think that that's like totally what they want. So there's a lot of guys going, you just fucking Hawk a lug on my cock? Like, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, oh, I saw it on Instagram and I thought that maybe you'd like it. I mean, I don't not like it, but it's not, you're just kind of coming out of nowhere with that shit. A lot of guys, if they didn't see the Hawk Tuah girl first, they're going to think that their chick is cheating on them. Like, what, you do that now? Since when? But Howard has a take on the Hawk Tuah girl.
So natural when she says it. It's like she didn't even think about it. And then as a dad myself of 3 girls, like that's every father's worst nightmare to see her on Instagram going, yeah, you got to Hawk Tuah on that fucking thing.
He's right. Like, again, we can call Howard a pussy and he went PC and all that. He's right. Like, as a dad, if you're Hawk Tuah girl's dad, I think there's actually a meme for Hawk Tuah girl's dad now. And the Hawk Tuah girl's dad meme is the Ben Affleck with the cigarette looking up at the rolling his eyes meme. It's like Hawk Tuah girl's dad right now. I mean, it's true. Because, like, it's not like parents don't know. I mean, parents know their kids are having sex, but it's like, I'd rather not hear about it. I'd rather not see you online with a microphone in your face, pretending you're spitting on a cock and getting, like, really enthused about it. It's not my favorite place I want you to be. You can call Howard Stern out for a little bit of hypocrisy, though. And maybe this is just him getting a little older. But, like, Howard's like, I have 3 girls, and this is the last thing you want to see as a father. Maybe, but I also know that 30 years ago, Howard Stern is trying to have Hawk Tuah girl come into the studio and ride the Sibian. So, I agree with Howard, and I don't think this is Howard going PC, by the way. I think this is Howard just getting older. Like, if you're 75 years old and you're still trying to get Hawk Tuah girl to ride the Sibian, it comes off a little, it's creepier than it is if you're, in your prime. So I don't begrudge him this take. I really don't. Because he's not wrong from that perspective.
Did you see my daughter on Instagram?
Yeah, my kid is Insta famous. She's the Hawk Tuah girl.
You don't, yeah, I mean, that's not something I'd go to work. That's the thing. Like, let's say the guys from work have met your daughter before, like watched her grow up and all that shit. And then they see the clip and they're like, "Hey, Bill, how you doing?" "Oh, not bad." It's just awkward, and Bill has to look at his coworkers and go, "Yeah, you saw it, didn't you?" They're like, "Yeah, we did." And it's like, "Yeah." So she didn't learn it from her mother, I'll tell you that much. Fucking dry-mouthed whore. No. Big It on Socialist Media says, "I'm trying to understand why this became a meme. It was funny the first time I saw it, not the 200th. Well, I think the reason it became a meme is it was because a woman was being so unabashedly a skank, you know? Like there's the saying, lady in the streets but a freak in the bed, the ludicrous lyric, right? That's kind of how it is. You're like, "Oh, she's nice," and then you're with her, and then you get her home, and you're like, "Jesus fucking Christ, she's an animal. This is fantastic." When you're a freak in the streets and a freak in the bed, like it's a little different. Like you don't see those out in the wild all the time. These salacious hoes just out there. What do? "Hawk Tuah, you spit on that thing," and say, "Yeah, fuck," and then she does a fucking end zone dance. You don't usually see that like in front of a microphone, so it's you're seeing an endangered species in the wild. That's all. Lab Glass says, "What happened to being 20 and having fun like you said 2 hours ago, Aaron?" What do you mean? Oh, I have no problem with Hawk Tuah girl. Like, go be a hoe. I don't give a shit. I'm just saying I understand Howard's take. Like, I get it. Just because, but also just because Hawk Tuah girl exists doesn't mean your daughter's gonna become a hoe. Just teach her that Hawk Tuah girl's retarded. And when you're like that, you fucking get diseases and pregnant. That's all you need to do. That'll scare him straight. You see that girl? She gets AIDS and gets pregnant and dies young. There, perfect. Hawk Tuah on that. West Coast Patriot Girl says, "I'm glad Howard finally grew up, but he's one to judge." Yeah, like I said, like 30 years ago, Howard would be having her in studio and just have her playing with sex toys and shit. So, Das Optic Nerve says, "Lady in the streets, freak in the sheets." Come on, man. No. I do the ludicrous lyric from Yeah. I don't like the rhyme. The rhyme bothers me. I don't like the rhyming. It's cute. Marketing. No, she's a hoe. We're not rhyming these words. Sam Show says he was the worst example for his own daughters, though. Was he? I mean, can't you, as his daughters got older, you don't think they could understand that, it's an act and he's, Howard's kind of fucking around and entertaining people? I feel like his family members got that. Or maybe he fucked his kids up. I don't know. I guess you'd have to ask Howard. We'd have to get Private Parts Part 2 in order to get the answer to that. I bet he plead they didn't turn on the show, says Sam Show. Oh, yeah, I'm sure he'd never let his daughters listen to his show growing up. By the way, guys, we got 45 minutes left. I'm starting to panic. We're 2:05 away from today's goal. I took last night. Well, I paid myself to take last night off, so I can't really say that. But, yeah, we're 2:05 away. We're getting fucked in the ass here. If you could throw us a couple of bucks, I would appreciate it. I want to knock out that goal. We've got a sizable audience these days. Just ask that you throw in a couple of bucks here and there if you're enjoying the program and keeping it on the air. We rely, like PBS, on listener donations. And we may ask you for money every once in a while. We may hit you up for a minute or two at a time, but it's better than playing 5 minutes of commercials. Fair? I thought so. Throw us a couple of bucks, guys. Let's go ahead and knock out that 205. Just a couple donations at a time. You know those rallies go quick. When you do it, and then another person does it, and then another person after that does it, it goes really, really quick. So $205 away from today's goal. Throw in a few. I'm really having a problem seeing that 2 next to the goal with only 45 minutes left. Thank you, 383 Novocaine with the $5. So we're at an even 200 for today. It would be great if we knocked that down. He says, what drives Aaron crazy in the bedroom? Thumb in the old leather Cheerio. I don't like getting thumbs in my anus. Who told you this? Who told you this? I want names. All right, let's get to a little bit of a Juneteenth fuck up with this next one. Juneteenth was what's today, the 26th? So last Wednesday. We're a week away from Juneteenth. People, you saw so many businesses. Like I saw Walmart, they had a Juneteenth display, and you saw all these places that were trying to do right by their whiteness and feel really guilty and honor Juneteenth. Some places did a harmless job, a little stand set up over there. Some people went a little overboard with the Juneteenth celebration, and some people just completely fucked the whole thing up. Just really fucked it up. That's the case in this next story. A Spectrum call center in Charlotte, North Carolina, decided they were going to have a Juneteenth celebration for their employees. The staff at the Spectrum call center on West Arrowwood Road in Charlotte are fuming over being served fried chicken and watermelon on Juneteenth. Oh. Please tell me they didn't have cornbread too. If they had cornbread, this was not a accident. And if they had black-eyed peas also or collard greens, that was a bit of a misstep. But this has happened before. I'm starting to feel like every year we get these Juneteenth stories where a business has fried chicken and watermelon for Juneteenth and they didn't know any better. Can we remove the racial part of fried chicken and watermelon and just acknowledge that would be a delicious lunch to have? I would be thrilled with that. I'm sorry if any black people are offended, but if I went to work and they said, all right, it's lunch today, cafeteria's got fried chicken and watermelon, I'd be like, this is going to be an all right day. You don't happen to have cornbread too? Oh, we have cornbread. Fuck yes. I'd feel like my boss actually gives a shit about me. Now, after publishing the story earlier, the news did manage to snag a photo of what the call center was serving its employees and a copy of a letter from the vice president. Let's take a look. See, that looks nice. Look at that. You got some fried chicken. You got some watermelon. We want to acknowledge some feedback we received regarding our Juneteenth celebration, said Pizzuto in a letter obtained by the North Carolina Beat. Although our intent was to celebrate this nationally recognized day, some of you voiced your concerns regarding the associated food choices. Oh, boy. In other words, some people found this a little racist. Whoopsie daisy. You can't do it. How are you getting along in the world without knowing that something like this could fuck up your day? I just don't understand how people can go fried chicken, watermelon, Juneteenth, black people, and you don't just go, nobody in the room goes, what? Are you out of your fucking mind? Fried chicken and watermelon? You kind of lean in their ear and go, pss, 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 pss. They're like, oh my God, really racist as fuck? The most racist? Oh, okay. I was going to have them eat the fried chicken with spears. Is that bad too? Or should we, can I go ahead with, okay, plastic forks? Yeah, you're right. They'll probably stab each other with the metal ones. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
It's time to stop making decisions, buddy, okay?
Magnum DUI says the chicken looks overcooked. I'd complain too. That would be funny if black people didn't complain at the workplace. They were like, their complaint was not that, it's Juneteenth and that's racist. It was just that, oh man, if you're going to make chicken, don't overcook the shit. That's what they're upset about. Some Soper says that's just Southern food. Right. Fried chicken and watermelon is a Southern dish. If you would have gone fried chicken and waffles, would it have been a little less racist? I feel like it would. West Coast Patriot Girl says it's a misstep to serve people what they like to eat. Right. Were there any complaints Were there any complaints about the actual food, or was it just, the appearance it gave off? Mojo Jojo says pizza parties work wonders for workplace morale. A little bit. I don't see a problem with the I can see the perception of a problem with the fried chicken and watermelon thing, but I don't see an actual problem. I mean, people are going to enjoy it. It's going to be a popular meal. Thank you, Tigger Next Door, for the $10. Holy shit, man. I'm starving for good news on the donations end today. We are $195 away from today's goal, and I'll admit, I'm hitting refresh a lot. I'm starting to stare at the number. I'm starting to scoreboard watch a little this morning. It's distracting me from the show a bit. We are 195 away. That's a long fucking ways, and we've got 40 minutes to try and knock that number out. If you want to help out, goddamn would I appreciate it. That would be awesome. Throw in a couple of bucks. Make this thing work is basically what I'm asking you. So it looks like the fried chicken. Nobody's getting, fired for that, though. That's all just a quick apology. Hey, sorry, shit happens. My bad. But, yeah, you gotta. The Juneteenth celebration thing. See, I think Walmart nails it. They just put up a little card table and put some collages and some Juneteenth shit up there, near the exit. That's all you've got to do. Checks your DEI box for the day. Let's go into the next thing. I'm starting to fade a little bit here, boys and girls. We got about 40 minutes left. Hopefully, we've got an hour and 10 minutes left. I'd really like to do overtime today, but we have not been inspiring donos today, meaning that and again, it's another one of those days where I feel like the show has done well. I feel like the show has been very entertaining today, better than everybody else's, but I guess people have to. Anthony was giving Stuttering John shit yesterday because Stuttering John was complaining at people and yelling at people. And, we'll rattle the cans and beg our audience to keep us going and throw some money in, but, berating them and, insulting them, I think is really shitty. But Anthony was like, well, if your show's good, John, people will just pay because they enjoy watching it. And I went, uh-oh. I mean, there's some days where we knock out that shit really quick, so we must be doing a really good job. Then there's other days like today where we started out with a smaller goal and we're still struggling. So I'm like, fuck, am I way shittier than I thought I was? Ugh. Cheeseburger Pie says, been a great show today, Aaron. Thank you, buddy. Everybody hit like, everybody hit subscribe. Let's knock that 195 number down because it's definitely starting to become a distraction. Maudiff with $50 says, it is a very good thing and a significant one too to exterminate the bourgeoisie and capitalism in China. I'm starting to think that this Mao guy really had it out for capitalists. Every quote that Maudiff comes up with, it's pretty fucking bad for the capitalists. Two things I think this Mao likes: death and death for capitalists specifically. He's a communist Thanos, Maudiff. I like the Mao diffs and the Napoleon diffs, and there should be a Charles Manson diff. And every time they drop super chats or they drop PayPals in, they give us a quote. I've learned a lot about these different characters from the different diff characters. There was a diff I wanted. I thought about it today when I woke up, and now I can't remember the diff that I want. Oh, yeah. The diff that I wanted. Oh, this actually sucks now that I think. I must have thought about this when I was just waking up and thought it was good. And now that I've had a chance to consider it, it sucks ass. What's the diff? Yeah, that fucking sucks. Don't make a what's the diff. Even if it's to punish me, don't. West Coast Patriot Girl says, is the P.O. Box stuff worked out? Oh, you know what? I got to talk to them about our P.O. Box and try to figure that out. Because I paid for that shit for the whole year. It better still be there. Someone's saying about the fried chicken and watermelon thing from Juneteenth. They're like, why is it always white people complaining? I don't know, because I feel like black people have bigger fish to fry, bigger things to worry about. So I really don't feel like they're the ones complaining about that stuff, but guilty white people want to prove that they're not racist. So they're like, look, I fought against the fried chicken on Juneteenth. And it's like, oh, great. That's going to bring down the crime rate in Baltimore. Appreciate it. Thank you, Thick Cheney, for $10. He says, great show today. Thank you, pal. See, those knock it down real quick. Between Mao Diff, Thick Cheney, and Tigger next door, that little rally we went on, 140 away from today's goal. We're right there. Knocking on the door, guys. Thank you very much. Keep those coming, and that's getting knocked out in no time. Thanks, guys. Go ahead and keep throwing those numbers in, and we'll keep dropping her down to 0 and get to our 12th straight W. Paul with $5 says, for the toe and slam piece. Oh, putting slam piece in the donos, are we? Thank you very much. That means 135 is our number today. Again, thank you. See what those rallies do? They knock it down pretty fucking quick. Oh, yeah, West Coast Patriot Girl says black people have bigger chicken to fry. How did I miss that so quickly? Well, guys, it doesn't take very long for people to start digging into somebody's past as soon as they get some kind of big job or big opportunity. I think America is starting to set records for how quickly they like to try and tear people down. Do you know who J.J. Redick is? J.J. Redick was a basketball player at Duke. He was a point guard in the NBA. And right now he's an analyst for ESPN. He just got hired to become the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Very smart basketball guy, very sharp dude, J.J. Redick. Well, after he got the Lakers job, immediately people start coming after him. Like, for what reason? None. He hasn't coached a game. He hasn't lost anything. He hasn't made any personnel decisions that the fans of the Lakers can love or hate. He hasn't made a fucking draft pick yet. Nothing. And people are already trying to tear the guy down. Now there's accusations that J.J. Redick called a woman the N-word while he was at Duke. Now, first of all, let me say this. Do I think that J.J. Redick, a white guy who's been playing basketball his whole life, said the N-word? Of course I do. And I wish we lived in a place that was more honest. I wish we lived in a country that was more honest about shit like this. So a guy like J.J. Redick could just go, yeah, I've been playing basketball with black people my whole life. Sometimes the fucking word comes out because they're saying it, I'm saying it. Just one of those things. And plus, I was in college. Not only was I in college, I was in college at fucking Duke, one of the whitest, probably most racist schools there are. So yeah, I dropped the N-bomb a few times. Oh well, I'm like 40-some years old now. I think we can let it go. But no, you have to grovel and pretend you've never said it. It's one of the grossest things out there to watch someone lie about using the N-word at any point in their life. Like, I've watched Sean Hannity have this debate with people when I was younger. And people would ask Sean Hannity, hey, Sean, have you ever said the N-word? He's like, no, and I've never thought it. Sean, come on. You've never thought the N-word? I've thought it 4 times just during our granny segment. No, I mean, everybody thinks about certain words. It doesn't mean you've said them. And also, to act like Sean Hannity, like a lifelong Republican, has never said the N-word in his life, fucking stop it. Stop it. J. Brock Contrarian says, I like saying cunt when it's not appropriate. Yeah, I mean, some people say some shit. Oh, well, you move on. But Los Angeles Lakers head coach J.J. Redick is flat out denying that he called a woman the N-word while he was a member of the Duke men's basketball team, saying the interaction simply never happened. Now, it wouldn't be the first time that a black woman has made a false accusation against a Duke athlete before. I mean, we remember the lacrosse scandal where remember all those people wanted to, they wanted to get rid of, or they wanted to accuse all those Duke lacrosse players. What were they? They were strippers, right? Bunch of strippers came over to a party and they fucked some of the athletes and then afterwards went, oh, they R-worded me. And then all this, Mike Nifong, the prosecutor, was like, we're going to nail these kids. It's white privilege. It's racism, blah, 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 blah. And then the whole case got blown wide open and they had to let the kids go because it clearly was consensual sex. That's what made me hate Nancy Grace. That started my lifelong hatred of Nancy Grace. because she made a big stink about these Duke lacrosse players and how, oh my God, they're guilty and this and that. And then the verdict came out and she had a guest host on her show that night when they were found not guilty. What a piece of shit, right? Thank you very much to Adam with $10 over on PayPal. Thank you very much, buddy. That's very much appreciated. $10 coming from our buddy Adam. Where does that knock us down to? 125 for today. Look at that, guys. That big rally we just had, started by Tigger next door in Mowdiff, now has us down to 125 with a half hour left in today's show. I think we've got a pretty good chance to get there. Thank you very, very much. 125, keep her coming. I think you've got it. So now, this J.J. Redick thing, a woman goes, oh, he said the N-word when he was at Duke once. First of all, you tattletale bitch, he probably didn't. Second of all, if he did, who gives a fuck? It's not like the Lakers hired him because of his lack of saying the N-word at Duke. That's not why they gave him the job. They gave him the job because he's a really sharp guy who knows basketball and can help the team win games. Meanwhile, if he said the N-word when he was 19 years old as a D1 basketball player at the most prestigious basketball program in the country, who fucking cares? Has he been saying it to Kendrick? I remember when he had that debate with Kendrick Perkins on First Take. I was surprised at his restraint that he didn't yell it at Kendrick Perkins. So I think we need to stop focusing on the times J.J. Redick may have used the N-word, and how about the amount of times he didn't use it when he could have? Nobody talks about that. Remember that J.J. Redick, Kendrick Perkins, like that race baiting episode that they had where Kendrick Perkins was trying to say that, Jokic, Perkins was saying Jokic is only getting considered for the MVP because he's white, which is total bullshit. And then J.J. Redick is like, look, motherfucker, that's not what this is about. And he let Kendrick Perkins fucking have it. Was this
Stephen? I mean no offense to you, and I mean no offense to First Take, because I think this show is extremely valuable. It is an honor to be on this desk every day. It really is. But what we've just witnessed is the problem with this show.
Too many blacks, Stephen A. Too many blacks. I've said it many times before. You need more honkies. I mean, blacks can play basketball, but you need a white man to think about it. Oh, no, that's not what he's going to say? Oh, I'm sorry. Because that's the feeling I'm getting from the media, that J.J. Redick just goes out there and just starts shitting on black people all the time. Oh, well, and by the way, fuck this lady for coming out with this story after he gets the Lakers job. Oh, I was so triggered and so hurt by J.J. Redick saying the N-word to me 20 years ago. But, it took him getting a really high-profile basketball job at one of the most prestigious professional teams in the country, nay, the world. Yankees, Cowboys, Lakers, Manchester United. I mean, those are the biggies. I was so upset about him saying the N-word around me when we were at Duke 2 decades ago that it took him getting a really high-profile job and getting a lot of media attention from it for me to remember. Oh, okay. I hate that, you're not ever allowed to question people who come out as a victim. You're not allowed to be skeptical. It's so unfair because sometimes you just have these gut feelings about shit and they're right. But if you go with them, people will shame you out of it. You'll get gaslit and shamed into not saying something that's probably correct because you're supposed to be nice.
Where we create narratives that do not exist in reality. The implication, what you are implying, that the white voters that vote on NBA are racist, that they favor white people. You just said that. Yes, you did.
On First Take, fireworks flew with J.J. Redick.
Oh, why? Oh, you're gonna do commentary on it? No. I want these guys to talk.
I stated the facts. And you're not about to sit up.
We all know what you implied the other day. We all know what you implied just now. Hold on.
I stated it's the facts. It's the facts. It's the facts.
Intern Perkins.
I mean, it's not really a debate. It's just one guy going, yeah, you basically inferred that there's a lot of white people voting for MVP and they'll just vote for a white guy because he's white. Right. Like if you go back and you look at the last like 30 MVPs of the National Basketball Association, it's a lot of those damn whiteys just voting for white people. I'm sure if we went back and looked, we'd see a lot of whites on that list compared to black people. Why isn't Dirk Nowitzki a 15-time NBA MVP? Why didn't Tom Gugliotta ever get the honors? Where were all these racist whites voting?
Erupted at Redick for what center Nikola Jokic of stat.
Shut up.
They're 23-0 when he has a triple-double. Going back to last year, they've won 28 games in a row when he has a triple-double.
You want to slap box? At least allow me to be on TV, to be able to throw my jabs and, my uppercuts.
Perkins didn't approve.
What? JJ Redick?
The best argument I can make of why this is such a ludicrous statement, they're 23-0 when he has
so Kendrick Perkins didn't like that he was getting shit on and he wasn't there to defend himself. Okay.
He's a historian when it comes down to diving in deep and going back into history and talking about the evolution of the game. Why didn't he never bring up this in particular subject?
Why didn't he never? I don't know. Why didn't he never? That's a good question. That should be on a T-shirt for Kendrick Perkins. Why didn't he never? Ask myself that every day, buddy.
When it comes down to guys winning MVP since 1990, it's only 3 guys that won the MVP that wasn't top 10 in scoring. Do you know who those 3 guys were?
Who are they?
Steve Nash, Jokic, and Dirk Nowitzki. No.
Yeah, probably because Steve Nash, the offense ran through him. And I'm guessing he won it when he was in either Phoenix or Dallas. But, like, Steve Nash, their whole offense ran through him. If you take Steve Nash out of that offense, that team fucking sucks. You don't have to be top 10 in scoring. Oh, the guys who weren't top 10 in scoring who won the MVP were white. Well, Jokic grabs fucking 20 rebounds a game. He doesn't have to be in the top 10 in scoring. Dirk Nowitzki nailed clutch shots and was a good defender when he was in Dallas. Like, God, Perk is so salty.
What do those guys have in common?
I don't know. What do those guys have in common? Jesus fucking Christ. If you're going to get a job as an analyst, can we teach you how to speak first? It's like they dressed I can't. Never mind.
I'll let it sit there and marinate. You think about it.
Perkins was accusing the NBA and NBA media.
Yeah, look, he's saying it. He's saying it's because they're white. I'm going to sit there and let it marinate a little bit. That's you saying it's because they're white boys. Stop it.
Which players create good shots for their teammates. And Nikola Jokic is top 5 in shot quality created. So if you watch them play, Perk.
During the segment, Redick goes through how the number.
I hate this guy.
As well.
This idea that Dirk and Steve Nash were favored to win the MVP because they're white. First of all, you stop short at 1990. That was your cutoff point for players to win MVP not in the top 10 in points per game, which is a stupid stat to judge MVP on. This isn't middle school. 1990, Magic won it. 89, Magic won it. 87, Magic won it. 87, he was 10th. 89, he was 15th. 90, he was 18th. Okay? We judge MVP.
So there's 3 years where a black guy won the MVP and he wasn't top 10 in scoring. I mean, I kind of feel bad because, like, trying to prove Perk is stupid is like trying to prove water's wet. But, like, JJ Redick, you got to admit, not only does he have balls on him, but he's also smart. Like, he's right about the damn thing anyway. So what can you really do to the guy? But I just wanted to play that because it's one of my favorite clips. But going back to the other topic now that JJ Redick is the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, now someone wants to come forward and go, oh, yeah, he said the N-word when he was playing at Duke. Okay. He said the N-word while he was playing at Duke. Are you happy now? Like, I wish we could deal with it that way. I wish the Lakers could talk to that person on the phone and go, yeah. Okay, he said the N-word while he was at Duke? What, like visiting? Oh, you mean a student? Like in 2000. Okay, cool. Thanks for the update. Appreciate it. And then when they call ESPN, same thing. Oh, you have breaking news. JJ Redick said the N-word? You mean like just now he yelled it at somebody? Oh, he said it when you were at a party, when he was hammered, when he was 19? Okay, cool. Thank you. And just hang up on them. I wish that's where we lived. But again, you know, I'm guilty too. I love gossip just as much as the next gal. Halima Nash, an author, speaker, and Duke alum, dropped the bombshell allegation. No, stop. A bombshell allegation is JJ Redick R-worded her and got her pregnant. That's a bombshell allegation. The fact that he said an N-word, or he dropped an N-bomb, he dropped an N-word. He was carrying her, and she trusted him. The fact that he dropped an N-bomb while he was at Duke is not a bombshell. It's retarded. He said a word. She says, I've only been called the N-word to my face by a white man once in my life, and it was on the campus of Duke University while I was doing work with the basketball team. Yes, but did he start it with the word my? You know, context matters. Today, he was named the new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. What a world. Redick, a former college basketball superstar at Duke and 15-year NBA veteran, was introduced as the 29th head coach of the LA Lakers on Monday. The allegation was posted to Nash's account at 9:10 a.m. yesterday, and as of the time of this story, it was viewed 10 million times. Redick's camp said, nope, it never happened. Okay, let me do this. So fucking what if it did? It was at least 20 years ago, probably more. And we have one woman's word that she got called the N-word. No context, no nothing. If I'm JJ Redick, I'm like, I don't remember saying it, but if I did, my bad. Sorry, I was a fucking kid. So, apologize. I've grown since then. It's a waste of fucking time. And, okay, so she was called the, what would she like? Would she like him fired? Because that's what it makes me feel like. It makes me feel like she wants the guy fired. Why else would you tell this story right after he becomes the head coach if you didn't want to fuck with him a little bit? That's what it makes me think. God damn it, man. Does Drake only lose massive bets on sporting events? Every time there's a big sporting event, I feel like the day after we hear a story about how Drake lost $1 million. Fuck, if it's a big fight, didn't he bet on Fury to beat Usyk and he lost a shitload? Well, now we got a news that Drake lost $500,000 betting on the Oilers after Game 7 of the Stanley Cup. Fucking Drake needs to stop gambling, man. Every time I hear a story about him gambling, he's just getting his dick kicked in and losing like a really nice house worth of money. Fucking Jay, somebody's either got to teach Drake how to gamble or they got to get him away from the fucking sports books, dude. Guys, guess what? 125 away from today's goal. This goal is attackable. This goal is achievable. This goal is mobile. Let's go ahead and knock it out. $125 away. You see the links in the chat. You see them pinned to the top of the page. 125 is the number. Streamlabs, PayPal, Steel Toe Media Inc. on Venmo. We had a big rally a little bit ago. We can knock the rest of this out. We've got about 15 minutes to do it. We got about 10 minutes until I rattle the cans and beg you for some cash to knock this thing out and make it 12 shows in a row. Be generous in the next 10, 15 minutes or so, and let's knock out that 125. We are getting damn close once again. It's like you can set your watch to this shit when it comes to Steel Toe. Go ahead and throw in a couple of bucks. I'll talk to you about this goal again when it's time to rattle the cans. Conor McGregor. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Remember Conor McGregor a couple weeks ago was supposed to fight at UFC 303, but he hurt his little baby pinky toe, and now he can't fight. He shouldn't be fighting anymore anyway. He's spent. He's washed up, and he's going to fight Michael Chandler, who's also a little bit washed up. I think Chandler's going to beat him if they end up doing that fight. But Conor McGregor is making news for a different reason. Conor McGregor tracked down and followed Hawk Tuah girl on Instagram. I love him. I think he's great. Doesn't he have like a chick that he's had kids with and all that stuff? And like he was also accused of bringing some chick into a bathroom at a basketball game and fucking her with a bunch of people waiting outside. Conor McGregor's fucking reckless, dude. I mean, running down Hawk Tuah girl. And now, if you're smart and you're Hawk Tuah girl, you follow Conor McGregor right back and you start DMing him. I mean, you talk about a fucking story, right? That's a story. Because Conor McGregor will hook up with Hawk Tuah girl in a heartbeat. I love when he tries to play Mr. Monogamous. I think it's hilarious. Almost as funny as when Nick tries to do it. But aggressively monogamous. All right. I mean, we've both walked in on situations that shows that that's not true for either of us. But anyway, as I said before, balls deep with $20. Oh, how fitting. Balls deep with $20 over on PayPal. Thank you very much, buddy. 105 away from today's goal. Appreciate it. So, Conor McGregor, you know, I get that he's trying to keep like his girl's dignity intact by saying like, oh no, that never happened. All these people are lying and I'm a one-woman man. And it's like, look, if she's got a hold of your money and the part of the deal is like, you know, look, Conor fucked some strange. I look the other way. Just don't get caught. You know, what was it? Muhammad Ali had a wife back in the 70s, one of his 4 or 5 wives that told him like, you know, I put up with the casual ones, she told him. I put up with the discreet ones, meaning like she knew Muhammad had affairs. She knew that Muhammad Ali was a dog, and he fucking was. Muhammad Ali's famous quote was, I'm weak on women. And there was a girl, Veronica Porsche, that Muhammad Ali was just running around town with. I think it was in Zaire. It may have been the Philippines for the Thrilla in Manila. I'm not sure which fight it was. But Muhammad Ali was just being photographed with this Veronica Porsche woman who ended up being his 3rd or 4th wife. And his current wife at the time, I think who was Belinda, confronted him about it and said, what the fuck are you doing? Could you at least not humiliate me in public? She told him, she said, I put up with the casual ones, meaning like when you're fucking some strange and it's behind closed doors and nobody knows about it, not thrilled about it, but I put up with it. But when she saw that he was running around with Veronica Porsche out in public, she was like, dude, could you just fucking chill a little bit? Like a little bit of respect for me? Let me hold on to a little bit of doubt and dignity? Same thing with Conor McGregor. Like he gets filmed taking a girl into the fucking bathroom at a basketball game and coming out with her a few minutes later. I mean, what are we supposed to think? That he was just helping her put a tampon in? Jesus Christ. You know, or he follows Hawk Tuah girl on Instagram. Oh, I'm just a big fan of your work. I can't do an Irish accent. Oh, I'm just a big fan of your work. I can't do it. Just all my Irish accents just have to be Tyson Fury and his Liverpudlian shit that he does, or whatever, wherever the fuck he's from. Hardwick upon Stratton or whatever. Well, you know, the Gypsy King only comes in and fucks the strange when his wife isn't looking. I'm not like Conor McGregor. But he, like, look, just keep it under wraps a little bit. You know, be cool about it. And if the chick is cool about it and she gets her cash out of the deal, who are we to judge? But Jesus Christ, man, don't just go following them publicly on Instagram and then just throwing it all over the place. All right, guys, we got a bunch of overtime stories ready to go, including, this is going to be funny. If we get to overtime, I'm going to love doing this one. Whoopi Goldberg has this really gay, like childish thing that she's doing where she's not saying Donald Trump's name on The View. She said it yesterday, and I swear to God, the look on her face is fucking classic. We've also got Ron DeSantis is in the news for banning balloon releases in Florida. I don't know. People in Paris are taking shits in the river to protest the Olympics. And a House Republican is saying that Joe Biden's going to show up to the debate jacked up on Mountain Dew. We got a lot of fun clips and a lot of fun audio to play for you for overtime today. I really hope we can get to it. $105 away from today's goal. So if you guys want to throw in a few dollars and knock this thing out, boy, would I appreciate it. We got about 5 minutes until I start harping on you a little bit, asking you to throw in and extend that streak to 12. Thank you guys very much. Not very far away now. Just 105 is the number. See if you can help us out. Ariana Grande's in the news. I'm usually not a big Ariana Grande guy. She's got a song or two that I don't mind, but I don't seek the shit out. She was giving an interview on a podcast, and apparently her answer to a question upset a lot of her fans, but me personally, I fucking loved her answer. I thought it was great. Apparently, she sparked a backlash because everything sparks a fucking backlash now. This is Ariana Grande on a podcast getting asked the question, what person, alive or dead, would you most like to have dinner with? Pretty common question. It comes up. It's one of those fun hypotheticals like, would you rather be deaf or blind? Totally harmless, unless you've got a legion of fans who are, retarded 20-somethings. Let's take a look.
Ago, before the Dahmer series, before it was in a Q&A with fans, with young fans. It was young fans at the time. It was I think it was in between like me being Cat and Pop stuff. So it was like a younger group. Okay. But it was with a parent. Someone said, if you could have dinner with anyone living or dead, who would it be? And I was like, oh, you're so cute. Who, Mom and Dad, is it okay if I give the real answer? And they were like, sure, I guess. What's the answer? And I was like, I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer's pretty fascinating. I think I would have loved to have met him.
Wow. That's actually, for a ditzy pop star, that's actually a lot deeper answer than I would have thought. I have no problem with that. That's actually a great answer. What a fascinating person. If there's no language barrier or whatever, I probably want Napoleon. But even then, it's what's he going to do? Tell you war stories? Dahmer would be fascinating. John Wayne Gacy would be a good one. Gacy was an unrepentant fucking prick until the day they lit him up. My favorite two quotes from serial killers before they get executed is the juxtaposition between Gacy and Bundy. Bundy's last words were, "Tell my family I love them." John Wayne Gacy's last words before he was executed were, "Kiss my ass." Have you ever listened to the Gacy tapes on Netflix? That guy, you talk about an asshole with zero redeeming qualities. You are talking about John Wayne Gacy. Brutal murderer. Fucking sicko. Horrible guy. Terrible drinking problem. Everything else. Not that that's the worst. I probably should have started with the drinking problem and built up from there. But he got asked about it. He'd be like, fuck yeah, I did it. Who gives a shit? Blah, 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 blah. He was ornery about it and everything else. Whereas Bundy, once he got caught, he was fucking terrified. That's why he escaped twice. Mr. Beat says he would have dinner with Charles Manson. Yeah, that would be really fascinating. Hitler, I feel like Hitler, he'd probably be telling you who owns the restaurant and shit, and do you really want to try that? I don't know. Das Optic Nerve says Pogo the Clown was lit. Yeah, that was John Wayne Gacy's. Well, John Wayne Gacy had two clown characters. He had Pogo, who was the haha funny one, and then he had a dark clown. I can't remember what his name was. Gacy, dark clown character name. Yeah, there's Pogo, but there's another one. He played two different clowns. And the fact that I know that and that doesn't immediately come up on Google makes me feel really weird for knowing it. Gacy as Pogo the Clown. Oh, God damn it. Maybe the evil clown was just John Wayne Gacy. That could have been it. All right, guys, we got to take a break because we are either done, we're either finished, or we're going to knock out this $105 goal and we're going to do an extra 30 minutes of overtime. We got a bunch of good stuff. We're going to make fun of the ladies on The View a little bit. I'm excited for that. We're going to talk a little bit about Ron DeSantis fucking has a hard-on for hating balloons. And then we've got a guy getting so pissed off while he was gaming that he flew to Florida to attack his opponent in the video game with a hammer. I can't play online. I just can't do it. No, thank you. But before we get to any of that, we got to knock out this $105 that we've got sitting on the table, and we have 5 minutes to do it. So let's go ahead. Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chats, memberships, Rumble rants, however you can throw in a couple of bucks. Throw in a couple of bucks. Let's extend our win streak to 12 shows and call it a W for this morning on a solo show. Thank you guys very much. Let's go ahead and chip in. That 105 can be knocked out pretty quick. When we had that last rally, we were at 205. We went down to 105. So we knocked that one out. Go ahead, throw them in, appreciate it, becoming a member, however you want to do it. Throw us a couple of bucks, Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats. 5 minutes to get this thing done. Let's see if we can do it. Otherwise, we miss by 105. We call it an L, and we have to restart the streak. But we have a lot of great stuff going on today's show. I'm really excited for those of you who stuck around after I fat-fingered the stop streaming button. Oh, sorry about that. Peter Sky Parker with $5 says, just do your overtime stories. Stop extorting your fans. They'll appreciate you more. Thank you, Peter Sky Parker. I appreciate your advice. You're always very sage-like. But the overtime thing is just a fun thing to kind of get the rally going, if you will. Would you rather I did this at 10:25 instead? I mean, let's just knock the thing out now and call it a W. Thank you, though, Peter. I appreciate the $5 and your advice. Blitz League says, this has been a powerful episode of the Steel Toe Morning Show. Thanks, buddy. All right, 4 minutes to go, and we are an even 100 away from knocking this thing out. Just a nice 100, a nice triple-digit number, and we can call this thing a success once more for 12 shows in a row. So whether it's that link that's sitting there in the YouTube chat or the Rumble chat, whether it's Streamlabs, whether it's PayPal, whether it's Venmo, go ahead and knock it out. And then we'll do a half hour of overtime. And like I said, we've got a lot of good stuff today. There was a wealth of things to talk about. Dr. Disrespect, the Kumia stuff, Melton buying subscribers because he was so mad that I was beating him. Granny, of course, very proud of Granny. And the Sean Strickland stuff. Thank you very much to Craig for the $5. He says, another win for the toe. There we go. We've got it into double digits, guys. $95 away and 3 minutes away now from either sinking or swimming for today. $95 goal, 3 minutes left. Can it be done? Cheeseburger Pie with $2 says, here's my $2. Thank you very much, pal. Very much appreciated. Keep those coming, guys. We got 3 minutes to hammer this thing out, and we got $95 to go. And whatever your favorite is, Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, memberships, it all counts over here, man. We appreciate it. All right, and we are now officially at, hold on, 2 minutes and 5 seconds left. Let's do it. I'm carnival barking my dick off, and I really want to see solo shows being a success make me feel really good. Like I don't fucking suck shit at this. So thank you guys very much if you're thinking of dropping in a couple bucks. We're only 95 away. We can do this thing. We need everybody to throw in a little bit. So just click that donation button, no matter where it is, and throw us a couple of bucks, and we will hammer this thing out. $95 away. Suck my nuts with $20 over on PayPal. Thank you very much. All right, there we go. $75 away. And a minute and a half left to go. Minute and a half left on the clock. $75 from doing it. Boy, we are knocking on the door now. We are right there. I agree with Blitz League. Let's go toe. Let's go toe indeed. All right, $75 away. 1 minute and change left to go. Can it be done? Can you help us get from 75 down to 0, or at the very least, inside of 50, and buy us a little more time? Off we go. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, YouTube, Rumble. 45 seconds to go. It can be done, boys and girls. 75 is very, very close. Everybody throw in a little bit. This is $5-10 at a time. We can get this thing knocked out. 35 seconds to go. 75 away. Links are in the chat. $5 from Will Heron says, thanks for the content. Thank you, Will, and thank you for your clips. They're very good. I watch them from time to time. $70 away and 20 seconds left. $30 from Adam says, let's go. Thank you very much, Adam. $40 away from today's number. 10 seconds left. So you have bought yourself a little extra time, but we're only $40 away from knocking this thing out. 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. $5 from Jay Warren. He says, Aaron is a gangster. Am I? Am I a gangster? I appreciate it. Mr. Beat says, my ass is so broke, it's not funny. Oh, Jay Brock Contrarian says, I'm a gangster. Gangster. See, now that seems a little more on brand for this audience. All right, guys, we're out of time for regulation, but you got inside of 50. So all we're asking, knock out that last 35. Let's call it a win. There's Marble Arms with $5. Thank you, Marble Arms. So now you guys are 30 away from another win for the toe and making this 12 in a row and 162 out of the last 163 shows. So thank you very much. Blitz League says, old Aaron was lame. Sector Aaron is a king. I mean, I don't know about, I'm just another hack doing a fucking show begging for money like everybody else. But, I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to, shoo a compliment away. Thank you, Wildcard, for the $5. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, $5 at a time is going to drain this thing, man. You guys are down to $25. $5 at a time drills it. In fact, don't tell anybody, but a $25 miss. Fucking, I mean, let's get her down to 0 just for show and stats, but thank you very, very much. So who the hell got pissed at Ariana Grande for wanting to have dinner with Jeffrey Dahmer? Who fucking cares? God, people are so cunty. We are living in the age of projection. I swear to God, we are living in a time where if people are being defensive or if people are being upset about something, you can just assume that they're projecting something uncomfortable with themselves. Like the internet is the perfect place to go to just project your horse shit onto other stuff rather than own it. I cannot imagine hearing a singer go, I'd like to have dinner with Jeffrey Dahmer, and then getting pissed about it. First of all, retard, Dahmer's dead. Don't worry. Second of all, I don't think anyone is in her staff is going to let Ariana Grande have dinner with a cannibal. So just fucking chill. Okay? David Skywalker with $1 says, keep it going. So close to within 50. If you stay, it will come. Look, man, there could be jizz. It could happen from time to time. But you guys are only 25 away. Thank you very much. All the links are in the chat, so when we want to pounce on that 25, we get... Oh, never mind. Not missing today. Now shut the fuck up, Aaron. Timothy with $25. Thank you, bud. That's it. Another win for the toe. Let's call it 12 in a row. And as usual, you guys just fucking making me wait till that last minute. I love you. Thank you very much. Let's do the... We have time to do the gamer attacking the guy with a fucking hammer story. And we also have time for Whoopi Goldberg losing her mind. What a childish thing to go, I'm not ever saying Donald Trump's name on The View. Okay, fine. That's one thing. Like, that's gay enough to go, I'm not saying Donald Trump's name on The View ever. Okay, fine. It's another thing completely to, like, once you slip up and say the name, for you to go, oh my God, and then fucking panic as though it was ever even a real thing in the first place. It was your gay rule to begin with. We'll play that in a little bit, but first, Jesus fucking Christ, you guys got to stop taking these video games so goddamn seriously. This one is out of Nassau County, Florida. And this, again, is just... I understand being mad at a video game. Like, look, I've been a Madden player my entire life. But like to get so mad at a video game and to hang on to that rage, like video game rage to me was always like throwing the controller and you're done with it. Like that's it. You throw the controller once, call it a night. You know, maybe we put this thing away until next time. But to hop on a plane, hold on to that rage, and fucking attack a dude with a hammer? That's some missed medication type shit.
Good afternoon. How are y'all?
We got to start treating video game consoles like guns. Like, you got to take a test. You've got to pass some sort of exam. These fucking mental patients get wrapped up in these video games, man. People literally get hurt. Like fucking swatting. You lost. Play offline for a little bit, get better, and then come on back.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
I'm Nassau County Sheriff Bill Leeper.
Hey, Bill.
And I'm here this afternoon to provide an update on an arrest that NCSO investigators made yesterday in the connection of an attempted second-degree murder charge.
I don't like this. I don't like the idea of like this guy being the Nassau County Sheriff. Or is it Nassau? Yeah, Nassau County. He's not Florida Sheriff material. Like when I think of Florida Sheriffs, I think of like Wayne Ivey. I think of Grady Judd. Like I think of guys who are like, yeah, this motherfucker, we should have shot him in the dick hole. Oh my God, I just spittled like a psychopath. That's what I like out of my fucking Florida sheriffs. This guy's like, hi, everybody. Turns out we got ourselves a critter that we captured that we've been looking for some time. And we were finally able to procure this convict. No. I need Grady Judd being like, now these three Negroes came into a grocery store with a camera on them and robbed all of the fruit. Did you hear what I said? So they threw apples at us, so we shot them all in the throat and then laughed at them while they fucking died. Did you hear what I said? I like that guy, Wayne Ivey. Wayne Ivey, his cops shoot a guy, and the media's like, are you sure they should have shot him? And they're like, I wish they would have reloaded and shot him again. Like, that guy's got some balls. This guy seems like a paper pusher. He's got a couple minutes here to wow me.
Just want to let you know that this is a weird one. Some things make you say, Some things you just can't make up.
See, I don't like him. He shouldn't be a Florida sheriff. They got to kick him like up to North Carolina or Kentucky or something. Florida sheriffs have a reputation to maintain, and this guy sucks.
There's some things that make you say, what in the world was he thinking?
All right, we get it.
And there are some things that make you say, you're not going to believe this.
We got it. You've said that. Now, you sound like me hosting a show trying to get to the point. We get it. There are things that make you say shit. Could this be one of those arrests that make you say what it was about? That would be cool.
Well, this case makes you say all four of those.
Oh, does it really? You know what this case is making me say right now? Spill, you cunt. Sorry. It's getting late in the day. My blood sugar's low. Like whoopee.
What makes this incident particularly noteworthy is that it originated from an online altercation. The suspect flew from Newark, New Jersey to Florida, apparently to confront the victim in person.
Dude, this is an exciting story. Like some loser lost in a video game and he hopped on a plane to kill a dude, and this guy's making it look like a shoplifting case. Can we just alternate counties in Florida and make Ivy and Grady Judd the sheriffs of all of them?
Approximately 2 a.m. yesterday, our deputies responded to a call at a residence in Fernandina Beach regarding a physical altercation between two individuals. Upon arrival, they discovered a significant amount of blood in the entryway of the home and the victim's bedroom. The victim's stepfather reported being awakened by screams for help. When he went to see what was going on, he found his stepson on the ground, struggling with the attacker who was in possession of a hammer.
Jesus. Imagine how terrifying that would be if it was your real kid. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it was still horrifying. He cares very much. I mean, believe it or not, some people actually do care about their stepkids. They don't just say it and then fuck off.
The suspect was identified as 20-year-old Edward Coe Kang.
Wait, no fucking way. Edward Cocaine. His name is Cocaine. This kid rules. However, I wouldn't let this guy have access to electricity, let alone video game consoles. That's the face of a guy who you go, oh, can you believe this guy beat a guy to death with a hammer? I'm like, yes. As a matter of fact, I'm sure if you dig up his backyard, I'm sure there's a bunch of small animals with fucking hammer holes in their skull. Oh, this is a guy you take one look at and you go, just kill him. Like, just there's no reason. Like, put a drop gun on him, sprinkle some coke on him, just shoot the guy. Like, there's no reason. Shoot him in the shower and say it was like a Rambo thing.
This is his picture.
Ah.
The suspect.
He's creepier looking than most Asians. By the way, way to break the stereotypes. What was the most important thing in this Asian's life? Oh, his electronics and video games? Oh.
It gained access to the home because it was unlocked at the time of the incident. Kang assaulted the victim with a hammer, and the victim was defending himself.
Not well.
The victim and the stepfather managed to disarm Kang and restrain him until our deputies arrived on scene. As of this moment, the suspect, Kang, is not cooperating with our investigation.
Cocaine? English, motherfucker. Do you speak? Is his name Cocaine or Cocaine? I know his rap name's MC Hammer. Am I right? Okay, I'll fuck off. You shouldn't have hit the goal today. I obviously don't value you. I suck.
Which is not surprising, and has requested legal counsel. Our investigation revealed that the victim and Kang had never met in person, but were acquainted through an online video game called ArcheAge. That's ARCHEAGE. This is a fantasy-based, massively multiplayer online game.
Stop. Don't let this guy talk about a video. No, we're done. I'm not going to watch this old man struggle with what a video game is. He's not going to understand it. Is it something you do on YouTube? We're not going to watch this man fumble and fuck this up. I won't do that to you. So a guy he gets pissed about a video game, flies to New Jersey and tries to knock the guy's head off with a hammer. And again, you take one look at the guy and it's like, why are we like, people say don't judge a book by the cover, but like how many times have you judged someone at first glance and been right? How many times have you judged someone by first glance and you were wrong? I bet you it's 70-30, 75-25, maybe even 80-20. Like you can judge a book by its cover. And that one's going to be a lunatic, and there's no point in rehabilitating him. He's fucked. So just, I don't know, look the other way while the boys do something to him. I don't know. Casey, thank you very much for the $25 over on PayPal. Very cool of you. And thank you, Adam, for the 3 gifted memberships. So you guys are starting the evening show ahead by $30 so far. It looks like. Thank you. I think I might do an evening show tonight. Oh, Slam Piece just invited me out for dinner. Guys, are you going to be mad at me if I pay myself and take one last night off? Because, I mean, I got invited out. I don't know. Peter Sky Parker says, imagine flying to New Jersey. That's true. Anthony Weston says, no, just go away. Peter Sky Parker, tell the bitch to kick rocks. You got a show to do. Oh, man. I'm getting a lot of conflicted answers. Oh, no. Kif Dunnage saying Slam Pig is killing the show. Not Slam Pig, Slam Piece. How dare you? You have Thursday, Friday, Saturday night off, you pussy, says Chips and Diff. Oh. Plankton says no, as long as you tell us ahead of time for once. She's setting Aaron up for failure. Peter Sky Parker, bitches come and go. Steel toe is forever. Jesus Christ. Keep ruining the show. Always show her if she's hotter than the last. Always show her if she's hotter than the last. No, I'm not putting the next one on the air. Ever, ever, ever. It's a stupid, stupid, stupid idea. Jesus Christ.
These people.
What the fuck? Daughter of suspected Gilgo Beach killer linked to cannibalism and murders? What? Oh, so this shit just runs in the family. Jesus Christ. Let's do the Whoopi Goldberg thing. And then maybe we'll have time to get... I've always got time for a fucking cannibalism story. Jesus Christ. Whoopi Goldberg has refused to say Donald Trump's name on the air for years, and I'm sure it's really hurting Donald. I'm sure he's very upset about it. I'm sure Donald hears about Whoopi Goldberg refusing to speak his name, and he just goes, you know what? Maybe we should just wrap up this whole campaign. Maybe we should just call it. By the way, Johnny just texted me. See, now I feel like I killed Johnny by inviting him out last night to come have a couple of beers at the house. Because Johnny didn't get any sleep last night. And then he writes to me, no show today. So he doesn't have a show at 2 o'clock. Now I feel like I killed the guy. He says it's not you. Oh, okay. Well, thank Christ. Jesus. Well, thank Christ that it's not me. But, I hope Johnny's okay. Obviously. Oh, boy. So many things happening. Then I got the kids all day today. Very excited about that. Got the kids all day today. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So the next 6 days. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 8 out of the next 9. Woo! I thought I was only 50% dad. What's this 100%? No. Splitting time. Check out the Gilgo Beach murderer's accusations of one of the victim's lawyers is claiming that his daughter was in on it. Wow, I really haven't caught up with the Gilgo Beach killer guy. I just know that he was whacking whores. I kind of thought that maybe the cops were in on it a little bit. I was thinking maybe the cops were, they maybe had something to do with it because it just seemed weird that they kept ignoring the warnings about him and to check here and check there. But there's going to be some wild shit coming out. Thank you very much to Ken. Ken says, I thought about 50, but can only do 10. Love the show, Aaron. Thank you. Don't ever give to this show if you're in dire financial straits. We've got more than enough fans, that have a couple of bucks rolling around in their pocket that keep this show going, and we appreciate that. Don't ever give more than you think you can. I'll always rattle the can at everybody, but don't throw in money if it's a problem. That's why I always say, subscribe to the channel, hit like. There's many different ways to support the show. Watch every video we put up. That's giving us money without giving us money. But yeah, only contribute if you can. And if you can contribute, only contribute what's comfortable for you. Fuck. And that's going to be a different answer for everybody. So please, let me reiterate. Help out the show with what you can when you can, but don't. Goddamn, man, don't go heavier than you can afford. All right, so let's see what. Let's watch Whoopi Goldberg, who again is refusing to say Donald Trump's name because he's a meanie, potty-mouthed shithead. But now I guess she fucked up yesterday and she said Trump's name and it put her into a fucking tizzy. This lady, God damn it! Do you ever realize when you watch the news or you watch any of these TV shows that you're watching children? You're getting your information and you're being informed by people with the intellect of a fucking infant. Not that you and I are much better, but the fact that we can pick that out, not good. It means you're not only as dumb as we think you are, but it's also readily apparent. Let's go ahead and watch Whoopi Goldberg fuck up her anti-Trump stance.
That we have to, I think it would be remiss of us to not say, Joe Biden knows how to do this. Yes. He knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. And
at what? Are they talking about is this a conversation about falling upstairs? Because I've seen him do that. He's actually rather adept at it. I have to give him that.
To do this, he's quite good at this, and you know you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean
he rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just.
But can I mention one thing?
She wouldn't say Trump, and then she said it, and she had to spit at the ground. I'm sorry, but I've said this about Patrick Melton. I've said this about everybody who's got a fucking little obsession. That runs your life. You are not in control of it. It's like an addiction. Her saying she won't say Donald Trump's name and then saying it, she has to go, puh. Donald Trump's in your head and he's got you. If you do a show and all it is watching me and talking about me and obsessing about me, you're a fan of mine. I'm in your head constantly and you need me. This is not difficult to understand unless you're a dipshit. And if you're in my chat right now going, oh, Aaron, sorry, the IQ's got to come up a few points. You're not ready yet.
Because Trump is out there calling.
Did you say his name?
I said his name.
Oh,
yeah, it was a trick and it made me do it. But I'm just saying that
Oh, say his fucking name. You're on the cock-sucking news, basically. I mean, The View, I know people are like, The View is retarded. It is retarded. But it's still like a news program. They talk about the news on it. Be a fucking adult and say his name. Like, I get a kick out of these people. Like, they can call Trump Hitler. But they can say Hitler, but they can't say Trump. Like, Jesus Christ, you've got a mental illness. All right, let's go to, oh, wait, no, I just missed who that was. I'm sorry, who's calling in?
This is John OnlyFans.
Oh, John OnlyFans, hello.
Hi, Aaron. My name is John OnlyFans. I'm the guy that created OnlyFans.
John, we lost you.
Okay,
go ahead.
I'm calling about your subscription to OnlyFans.
I don't have
you mind if we run through that?
I don't believe I have a subscription to OnlyFans, John OnlyFans.
Let's see.
Are you sure you've got the right guy?
Well, the username is Cuck for You Minnesota Guy Fat Spiderhead. I don't know who else that could be.
That sounds a little on the nose. I don't know if I would choose that for a username, but okay, go ahead. Let's go through the OnlyFans subscriptions for Cuckboy Minnesota Fat Spiderhead.
So I see that you spent a lot of money on George Santos OnlyFans.
I don't subscribe to George Santos on OnlyFans. No.
I've got Richard Simmons here. I've got
Richard Simmons doesn't have an OnlyFans.
Howard Stern
doesn't have one. I don't think. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I'm not on OnlyFans. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Chef Boyardee.
Chef Boyardee. All right, go ahead.
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben. Now, first of all, I wouldn't for obvious reasons, but go ahead.
And even Aunt Jemima here. So you do swing both ways.
It's Pearl Milling Company. Thank you very much.
Not to you. But I would like to know if you want to keep these subscriptions because your goal is teetering and you say your goal's going down. I don't know how you're going to be able to afford all these subscriptions.
We knocked it. We went over today. We're doing okay. So I'll keep the OnlyFans subscriptions for an extra month.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your patronage.
All right. Thank you, John OnlyFans.
Bye.
By the way, he sounds a lot like the guy from the Dough Company yesterday. That's strange to me. That John OnlyFans sounds a lot like the Dough guy. Probably a coincidence. Blitz League says, Sector Aaron, you're our guy now. We need streams or details on the next stream. I don't have any details, my man. I'm sorry. I got nothing for you. Sometimes there's going to be less to talk about on that front. But today, I mean, shit, we got a lot of things done. I mean, I fucked it up by clicking off the stream, but we got a lot of shit done today, my friends. I'm really happy with it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things to clip out of today's show. Jesus Christ. We got through the Whoopi Goldberg thing. We've only got about 5 minutes left. Let's pick a good, quick one here. Ron DeSantis banning balloon releases. This seems like no fun. Is he taking losing the presidency a little bit hard? How the fuck did this happen?
You see these types of ceremonial balloon release events for all types of reasons, celebrating a milestone
are
or
they
remembering
gay?
a loved one.
Is it a gay
But a new
thing?
Florida law no longer allows intentional balloon releases. Environmental advocates have been behind this bill for years. And our Fox 13's Kylie.
So now fucking DeSantis is a goddamn hippie environmentalist? I'm done. Not going to support him as Trump's running mate. Balloon releases really are bad for the environment? Okay.
Jones is joining us live in the newsroom with what exactly this means and why, Kylie, it's really a win for advocates, right?
Allie, yeah, the new law says
Yeah, but it's terrible for people who like fun and a sense of atmosphere. What are you going to release now? Don't answer that.
balloons take years to break down, and advocates who have championed this law say Florida's economy depends on its beaches and wildlife, and that balloons are one of the top threats. They're often
So it's an environmental and economic thing. Plus, you know, Ron DeSantis, the gay hater that he is, he probably doesn't want to see all those rainbow balloons out there. Slap the cuffs on him. I bet you DeSantis's critics will find a way to make this against gays. Like they'll find a way to go, oh yeah, DeSantis just doesn't want us we're going to get arrested for releasing pride balloons. You see, he is trying to throw us in jail. This is gay. Hey, buddy, you're going to jail. Don't say gay.
released into the sky to mark a celebration or mourn the loss of a loved one. But the governor signed a new law banning intentional balloon releases. Conservationists say it's a bigger deal than you may think.
We've picked up tens of thousands of balloons in a single year during our cleanup activities.
Well, then it gives you something to do. Tens of thousands in a year. Come on. Go. What are you going to do now? You're going to have to fire people. You're losing jobs now because of that. Oh, wait. Now Slam Piece is saying, I'm listening now. Don't take a show off. My God, I can make you suffer anytime. Oh, I thought you meant we were going out for the... Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand that. That's cool. Yeah, we can do that anytime. I'm sorry. Plus, I got the kids today, and I'm going to be running like crazy. Okay. I thought we were going... I thought she was doing her... thought she was inviting me out for an evening out on the town. I would have thought about... I canceled the show yesterday, and that was fun, and we all had a great time. But I think I gotta do tonight. You know, otherwise you guys are gonna fucking abandon me for being a lazy bum.
The Ocean Conservancy says balloons are the most common type of debris crews find during mass cleanups.
When we find dead manatees, we often find pieces of balloon in them.
Those fat, retarded sea cows can't stop eating balloons. You deserve it. What the fuck do those things do? Seems like all they do is clog up boat propellers and eat balloons. They really are a waste of space. I think we might have outgrown our usefulness of the manatee. I think we can let it go. That's how they're going to find Patrick Melton one day, just washed up on a beach, propeller blade in his back, balloons in his stomach. He can't help himself. The man's insatiable.
Sea turtles, in particular, will target balloons and think that they're jellyfish, which is a natural food source for them. And so these balloons, when they ingest them, can get stuck in their throats and need to be removed. The ribbon...
God, you guys are a fucking bummer. What a bunch of killjoys. All we wanted to do was release some balloons and then forget about them for some fun. You had to talk about strangling sea turtles and manatees choking to death. Fuck.
From balloons can get wrapped around animals' necks.
Under the new law, planned balloon releases are no longer allowed, and anyone over the age of 6 would face a $150 fine for littering.
Balloons are being pulled out.
Releasing balloons. What am I, 6? Oh, he's not going to let us release balloons. Like, why do you need to? There's no reason to release a balloon. What are you, gay?
Out of some of the most remote, pristine places in our state, like the Florida Everglades.
Good. Maybe we can kill some alligators. Oh, no, they probably just eat those and keep on going. They're trash cans.
It could be miles inland. We know there have been coastal releases out on the beach where those balloons come down in cattle pastures inland. And actually, cows have been seen to eat the balloons.
The symbolic events that were previously held before this law often held sentimental value.
And we think that's really important too, and we think that there are ways to do that. Planting trees, spreading flower petals, things like that don't also require littering like releasing balloons does.
Advocates say this.
You guys, why don't you plant trees instead? Oh, yeah, you know what I love? You know what I love better than releasing a fun balloon that goes up into the sky and makes me happy? I want to fucking get my hands dirty planting a sapling. Suck my dick. I'll take a dead manatee just so we can release some balloons. Thank you, Adam Simon, for gifting a membership. And Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says every state should ban polygamy. Well, you've certainly got my signature on that law. Jesus. I learned my lesson. All right, guys, you're $50 into tonight's goal already. I think you've done enough damage. Thank you for your generosity. You're the best audience out there. I'm going to keep this Gilgo Beach cannibal thing for tonight. That might be a good one to do for the old evening show. It's going to be me flying solo again tonight. I'm excited about that. We got Keanu tomorrow morning and then Gino on Friday. So we got 3 shows left, guys. Thanks for helping me get through these. We appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. Talk to you at 7.